So, welcome to Master Powercast. On this episode, we're going to be taking a look at one of the hardcover Golden books. I have never been a part of the conversations talking about the hardcovers. I mean, we've always been the paperbacks. I think more often than not, it's because the scarcity of finding scans of the hardcover Golden books. But worry no
And I feel
longer.
like I couldn't talk to anybody who knew what the fuck I was talking about.
Because it was a thing, I guess most people didn't know about the hardcovers existing. It was more about the paperbacks that most
I
people
think they were
had.
the most common ones, but for me, I mean, I grew up with the hardcovers along with the softcover books, but I came across one other book in the wild, like a friend of mine had, who would eventually trade it to me, but I just didn't see them. It would be probably till eBay, the early 2000s, before I would find the rest and actually see them in person. And oh my god, I've got all of them now.
Yeah.
But I'd never heard of anybody else, even on the org back in the day. I don't recall really any mention of those books. It's more like the smaller softcover golden books that would ever get references, like The Secret of the Dragon's Egg, because of Goatman's in that one, or
Mm-hmm.
Magic Mirrors and Earl Norm covers and stuff like that too. So these were pretty much under the radar from what I remember.
Yeah, and in all the times of doing shows over the years, most of the time it was those softcover
Yeah.
books that we covered. But thanks to the newest edition of He-Man.org, link is in the description below, we have scans here of Teela's Secret. So let's go ahead, jump on in. One thing
This
that...
was the first book I ever got. I got this at a Rose's department store.
Wow.
I still have it.
That's awesome.
It's packed up, but it still has the sticker on the right corner.
Do you recall how much it was?
I think it was like $3.96 or something like that.
That's not terrible.
It's not. And I remember when I got the other one, River of Ruin, I went for the He-Man Smells Trouble because Stinkor and Roboto were on the cover, and my mom said that was not on sale. You can't get that one.
Mm.
So I got River of Ruin because apparently, and I'm assuming, like, you're telling me all these books weren't on sale. It was just this one particular one. So I had to go with the one that was marked down at the moment, which all in all was a better story anyway.
Yeah, as we start to go through the story in here, curious to get your thoughts on some of the art as we go along. But here on the cover, we have Teela and Stridor, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's Skeletor and Beastman here. So
I always loved the cover, and I think it's a duo, I believe, that did most of the artwork, because it's the same crew, same author for all the stories, and same artist for all the stories. Even though one or two of the books, like the art, is like feels like it was really rushed and very. The Horde is probably notorious for having some of the ugliest artwork of the entire run of these. It not all of it, but enough of it. You're like, what the fuck happened here?
Yeah. So before we get into Teela's Secret, the first few pages, of course, going to kind of catch you up to speed and give you basically what you already know and what you're already getting into knowing.
But it's a nice introduction for someone who's maybe not as familiar at the time with the mythology, because I was always fascinated with looking at the map of Eternia like that, the way it's laid out right there, where you've got the light hemisphere and the dark hemisphere, and gave me a lot of context for like how this world is set up. And because you really didn't have anything really to go by in terms of like how the planet was set up, unless you have to see a map and a Larry DeTilio written episode,
right?
Filmation. So seeing this was like, oh wow, like, okay, so Snake Mountain's on the other side of the planet, in the dark hemisphere, and just you see like the sands of time there, and the palace and Castle Grayskull. It's so simple, but so it just baffles the imagination of like, what else? What are all these surrounding areas here?
Yeah, and I guess you got to kind of take into consideration too that for the most part, parents were more than likely reading these to the kids than the kids reading them themselves.
I couldn't read when I got this book. My mom had to read it to me, and the word jealous comes up in this book, and that was the first time I'd ever heard that word. And I like jealous, like jelly, like that was my interpretation of that. Like Evelyn's jealous of Teela, like jelly. Like, I don't get it.
I don't understand
that, but I knew that she didn't like Teela, and that she thought Skeletor had the thing for Teela. That's kind of that's kind of what I was thinking a lot. But that just shows that was just my interpretation when I got this book and was trying to either look at the pictures or wait for my mom to read it to me.
Yeah. So it pretty much catches you up. Yeah, Adam, birth from the king and queen after she crash lands on Earth. He gets the powers. Skeletor's here. Castle Grayskull's secrets, but if you're looking at the pictures, this is a cool little stare off there.
I always love that, especially because Triclops is featured in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And for people who aren't familiar with this is in every one of the books. Like this opening prologue with the establishing look of eternity and this face off between the heroic warriors and the evil warriors. This is in every book, so that way, no matter what book you picked up, if it's your first book or the last one you need to get, you still always have this prologue to set up the world just in case. And I thought that was a wonderful way of like, this book may be a child's first introduction to He-Man. So we always want to make sure it's set up kind of like in comic books. They make references to Spider-Man's origin in issue, 237, because they never know. That may be that one kid's first time ever picking up what Spider-Man's all about, So it's enjoyable. Like I always thought it was such a cool look. And then you have like the two halves of the power sword. You got Skeletor sword and the power sword, and He-Man sword like crossed over. Like in just one page, it's just that image, and that's in every book as well.
Cool touch there. So yeah, now we get the credits. Are written by or illustrated by creative direction and design direction.
Which, if you look it up, as far as I know, it's the exact same crew who worked on these books. And, some are better than others. This is probably the best one, in my opinion. Not just because I have, like, an intense nostalgia for it, but just going back and rereading it after many, many years. Like, okay, it's definitely in the same vein as Teela's Quest. One of the best episodes of the entire Filmation series, and it's very similar to that, which is why it's not just because of that, but there's some twists into that. It takes the premise and does its own thing and does it beautifully as well. I might add too, and the artwork in this, as we'll go through it, is quite good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, it's not like Fred Carrillo did. I mean, there's certain pages that look better than others, but like there's a lot that are like, okay, that looks really good. And much like I think the Ladybird books and similar, where you have like one big picture and a smaller picture, and just like a paragraph or two of like setting up a scene, even stuff that you may not see. Which once I learned how to read, I was like, wait a second, you're saying this character's in this battle sequence, but there's no picture of him. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, you just gotta leave.
Well, that's just enough of my little exposition here of my history with these books.
Oh no. I like hearing about that, but also you got to use your imagination, kid.
Well, and that was one of those things I used to sit when I would go back and reread this one and the River of Ruin. I would sit there and just wonder, like, okay, two bads, fighting some of the horsemen here. What's that visual look like?
Yeah.
But
we open up here with a visual of Teela looking very sad.
Yeah, and as we're going to find out, she is on another one of her emotional spells of pining for the mystery of who the hell her mother is.
Yep. Man-at-Arms saying here, don't ask me that. I can't tell you who your mom is. I promised your mom one day, on the day that she gave you to me. She said, Teela must learn who I am by herself. So, it's a tough break, but also, too, that's obviously neither one of us can speak of the experience for that, but obviously this had to hit a nerve for some kid reading this, knowing that they didn't know who their mom was either, maybe. So,
well, I think too, anyone who's got a good relationship with their parents, in particular their mother here, like and visualize, have that taken away from you.
Yeah.
And like how gutting that has got to be. And I think that's something that the character really could have benefited more had they. I mean, Teela's Quest, like it's a nice wrapped up episode with a nice bow at the end of it. But I feel like that's something that could have been played with a couple more times throughout the series, instead of just making Teela, a one note character who just bitches at Adam for not taking responsibility and always wanting to tag along, as if like, I'm a girl and I want to come along too, because it's like, no, there's so much more complexity when you have a character that really grew up with an adopted father, having no idea who either one of her parents were,
Mm-hmm.
you really could have played with that a lot more and just have it be something that you don't beat the audience over the head with it, but I think to give her a little bit more layers of character development, of like what makes her the way she is. Like, she lacks that softness, and I think that's something that could have been established in an episode or another story where she's raised by man at arms. Like, this is he's the end all be all of combat and strategy, and just being the most loyal and best of the Royal Guard soldiers, and creates weapons and things like that. So he's not raising her with the tender touch that we come to expect with a good mother.
Mm-hmm.
So that would explain why she's such a hard ass a lot, even though Man at Arms is not pushing her to be a hard ass. It's just like she doesn't know how to turn it off.
Right.
And I think that's something that really could be explored with the character, that you just Adam's just thinking like, Teela, let me ask you something. You do realize I've got other responsibilities, other things I've got to do. What is it about me that you just feel like you just have to be on my ass all the time? You're the captain of the Royal Guard. You're a woman leading this entire legion of men. What more do you need to prove?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something too that would just this would be like an ideal moment here where she, it just doesn't want to admit she lacks that femininity, that would probably draw Adam more to her, even though he's clearly they've got a thing for each other, but because she just doesn't know how to like be warm, be supportive. And at times she is in the series, but she's written more of like pointing out Adam's flaws as opposed to, you do a lot of good things, Adam,
Mm-hmm.
or why do you act like such a fool? And emphasize like it means so much more to me if I saw that you were taking this seriously, or that you feel like you're really wanting to contribute, as opposed to I caught you lounging with Cringer yesterday. Like it really opened up. Why does this bother you so much?
Mm-hmm.
And it's things like,
Yeah.
well, you know what? You had both your parents. I did not. And I see that you have this awesome relationship with your mother, and sometimes I feel like you just take it for granted, not
What?
knowing what Adam was really going through on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But just the struggle she's dealing with, that she has a wonderful father. Couldn't have asked for a better father, but that mother, that was a tangent I was not planning on going off on.
No, I know. I'm glad. I'm glad that you did, because it also it brings to light something I kind of wanted to ask too. When you're talking about exploring more of her personality traits because of the absence of her mother and wanting to know who her mother is that something that you think that you would play around with more in the storytelling aspect of, she wants to find out the identity, maybe she gets kind of close, but the rug gets pulled out from under her? Or do you think that's a little too tropey of a thing to do a couple times?
I feel like, because if I was gonna do anything, I would explore it from time to time, because I would want to honor what Teela's quest set up.
Yeah.
Is that for a moment she will actually meet her mother, even though it breaks the continuity. But I would feel like I would really want one moment to give the sorceress like her moment to shine with Teela face to face, and then wipe her memory, and then it would just come back from time to time that Teela just gets emotional, like wishing she had a mother to confide in, and maybe it from time to time the sorceress, always in observance, like sends her messages like subconsciously,
Mm-hmm.
in a way that alerts her like, I am alive, I know where you're at, I know what you're doing, and I just want to remind you that I'm proud of you, and one day you will realize why I can't unveil myself to you right now.
Yeah.
Enough that where it's going to tear Teela apart, but it also reminds her that what she's doing, how she's grown up, what she's become, what she's trying to be. That is she making not only her father proud, but if her mother knew who she was, or if she was even alive, would she be proud of what I'm doing? Because that's something too that I again, why people just choose to ignore this shit, because they're not really thinking about the big picture here, is that to play around a lot with the complexity of the sorceress and what she is expected to give up to be that guardian, to sit there by herself and watch everything she's ever known either die, and she can do nothing about it because that's not what her responsibility is. Has a child, and that's why I feel like the minute she's given that responsibility, she was pregnant at the time, and realizes like I can't do this and raise a child, and think about that. She has to give up being a mother for this incredible responsibility, and has no one to talk to about it, no one to confide in, has to sit by herself and watch someone else raise her child.
Yeah.
And has to be okay with that.
Yeah, that's an angle that it could be very beautifully heartbreaking.
Oh my! If I stop and think about it, I mean, I can make myself tear up about those kinds of things because I'm a family guy. I love my family, and I just to these characters that I care about more these characters than any other character in pop culture, mythology, or anything like that. And I'm like, oh my God, there's just so much more that Filmation laid the groundwork for. And just this could sprout up into the biggest fucking, oak tree of possibilities and expanding the mythology and never changing what was already set. Yeah. And, really just go for the heartstrings of like, you don't have to be a mother or a father. You just could be someone who likes good writing and just like, oh my God, like, this seems like such a no-brainer. And for Man at Arms too, to feel like, this guy was given this responsibility of raising this child and trying to turn her into something that, she was not meant for this. She has a greater responsibility down the road, but for right now, I'm going to teach her all I know. Yeah. He's the master of weapons. He is the number one confidant with King Randor. He's also a mentor to Prince Adam. Like, Man at Arms has got a lot on his plate.
Yeah.
And that's something, too, that's not really expanded upon either. Like, right here, just this visual here of Duncan having to go to Adam's, like, she's asking about her mother again. It's killing me here. Yeah. That this child of mine is, like, suffering from a lot of, emotional distress because it's something that, she needs to know, but we can't do nothing about that.
Yeah, so here we get Duncan saying, that Sorceress is Teela's mother. And then you get the backstory. She appeared to me, took me to her nest there, found baby Teela and everything. So,
I was very familiar with Teela's quest when I read this. So it was like, okay, I'm seeing very familiar territory here.
I mean, at least Duncan has Adam to confide in and talk about this stuff with. Yeah. Teela doesn't really have that as
she much. Has nothing, but Duncan too, like him and Adam, like they've got their hands tied with all the responsibilities that they've got to keep up with, let alone
the responsibilities that they have just there, but then also the secret lives that they have to just keep hidden from everyone else.
Stop and break that down again. There's so much to explore with the human mind of the emotional stress these two, not including Teela, have got to go through. And you really could, just make some killer writing, for Duncan just to express just how stressing and taxing this is. Like he's got to be ready to kick some ass. He's ready to go. He's got to go. If he is called to duty to, take on evil warriors or the Horde or the Snake Men or whatever, or he needs to go help out with King Randor on this diplomatic mission or whatever, he's got to be ready to go. Yeah. And also know that he's got a daughter that's, has mom issues, not like a derogatory sense, but no, she has legitimate problems about that.
Sorceress right here kind of looks like Elizabeth Olsen a little bit.
She does, and it's a very striking image of the Sorceress right there, if I may say so.
It is. So
I specifically tried to draw that version of Strider, that page right there. I still have the drawing in my binder. I remember trying to draw that just when I was getting ambitious about trying to draw He-Man characters, which was sometimes all right, sometimes I didn't do so good on that one. But I specifically tried to draw that image of Strider there without Teela. I just wanted to draw Strider.
This is a great image of Strider.
I did too, and that was one of my earliest images outside of Clash of Arms. Like, oh my God, it's Strider! Like, just so cool.
So Teela hops aboard, and she's like, "I'm ready to find out who my mom is, but how? Where do I look?" So she's just trekking.
She's going to go to a small pond that she frequents. Yeah, it's kind of like her sanctuary of like getting away from it all, and I like that. And I love that, because I like to visualize Strider as just being this, even though he's a robot, but he's a very loyal, dependent steed with a personality that would abide, Teela, Fisto, He-Man, Man, whoever wanted
Whoever.
to, that he's loyal and can react and respond and not just be this mindless, steed of steel.
Yeah. So she makes it to the pond and she hears a woman's voice and she sees a beautiful woman in the water. And this woman is saying, "I am your mother." So fuck, how serendipitous, right? That
Yeah.
I want to find my mom, and here in the place, she looks in the pond, and someone's saying to her, I'm your mother." The answer that you seek is at Snake Mountain, so go there. I'm like, right off the bat.
Oh my! As a kid reading that, oh my God, are you out? No.
Yeah. But only wickedness is there. So yeah, she's just thinking about it, and of course we cut the Skeletor is like, she's fallen for my trick. I knew about her pond, knew she wanted to find her mom. So Skeletor, you just picture like how much information that he's sitting observing, probably heard all of this stuff. And it's like, all right, yes, this is when the Jewel of Ages is first mentioned here. So gonna make sure that she gets that on, and then she will have no choice but to join Skeletor.
And this seemed like something that would have been in Filmation. Like this is a very brilliant scheme of Skeletor, like strictly for the sake of fucking with somebody.
Yep, absolutely. But the cool thing about this is, yes, I've tricked Teela. We're gonna make her wear the Jewel of Ages, but to get He-Man out of my hair, we're gonna visit the Snow Queen because she's refused to join him. So we're gonna go to the Crystal Castle. And,
This is. I'd like to think this was written before the She-Ra mythology was really, even though I think these books came out close around the same time. So, it makes sense to call it a castle in advice, the Crystal Castle. So.
But you see here, Spikor, I'm sending you to go teach the Snow Queen a lesson.
And that hype that built him up too. Like, I need only one evil warrior to go fuck with an entire kingdom. Like that says a lot about the, and I love this. This is one of my favorite illustrations in this book is Skeletor sitting this very cool looking back chair.
Yeah.
With his legs crossed, just look.
Yeah, he's like, look at that. Look at that. I tricked her. This is going to be good. Look at that.
And Evil Lyn just off to the side, like so pissed off that he's even thinking about like wanting to, trick her to join the evil warriors. Like she's the only female. She's very territorial. This was my first introduction of like really seeing like Evil Lyn is territorial with Skeletor. Like I remember when I was on that Global Masters podcast that has gone the way of the dodo, but this I've referenced this is that they have such an emotionally abusive relationship, but no matter what, they're always going to be together. There's just something about these two that he gives her shit. He won't hesitate to betray her for his own benefit, and she won't hesitate to like, fuck him. I'll just grab Too Bad and Triclops. We'll go do our own thing. Fuck him.
Yeah.
And this was my first time of like, oh my God, like this is what Evil Lyn does. Like she's jealous. She doesn't want Skeletor even looking at another woman, no matter what it's for. Like she is the lady of Snake Mountain, the first lady of Snake Mountain.
I mean, she's looking pretty hot right
She looks fantastic there. Like I just, that's something I wish they had done more of in a lot of stuff is use the yellow skin with Evil Lyn.
Yeah.
There's just something about that original vintage look that if I ever have Kevin do a mini comic cover with Evil Lyn, because she never got her own mini comic, she's just kind of used sparingly. It would be using that dominant version right there, like no cape, just the yellow skin and that beautiful blue and purple outfit. Like, God, she just looks so well drawn.
So we go back to the palace. Man-at-Arms is listening on the radio. He's picked up the call for help. So the Snow Queen is, hey, we're under attack. I need to go help them. So everything's going along accordingly. Adam's, hey, yep, I gotta go be He-Man. So now we get the transformation
nice
shot.
Little splash page. The only thing that bothered me about this as a kid is that the Power Sword color looked like it was blended in with the blast, so it looked brown.
Yeah,
it didn't look like the proper like steel, which bothered me as a kid. I was so finicky about how the sword was ever drawn or colored. Like if it was anything off what it should be, I was like, oh, this is taking me out of it here, man.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of the media, the power. It's weird to think that a lot of people are very fixated on how the power sword
Yeah, and certain
looks.
people they want the way it was drawn, the how Alcala drew it, and those first 4 mini comics. And I'm like, I'm all about filmation style. Anything outside of that, because the actual vintage sword itself looks like the one in filmation. I don't want anything off model. And if you do anything off model, off color, off if the blade is drawn obtuse in the slightest bit, I'm like, all right, cut. Who's responsible for this shit? Fire their ass.
So He-Man takes the Wind Raider.
I can just picture like certain music too, like is the Wind Raiders approaching the ice castle or the crystal castle, excuse me.
Yep, says, I hope I'm not too late. So when he lands, the sound of breaking ice was all around. Spikor pounded the castle.
Yeah. And that was really cool to see Spikor in action too, which he's featured a couple times in these golden books.
Yeah, but Spikor soon enough, man. So He-Man's he's gonna roll up a snowball, and then it's gonna roll down the hill, and it's gonna get Spikor in it, and then at that point, he's gonna take the Wind Raider, pick up the snowball with Spikor in it, and he's gonna drop him off on the doorstep
of Snake, right on the head of the snake, which this depicts the snake as being alive.
Yeah,
which I thought was really cool.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what I was under the impression of. Like anything that wasn't filmation, I thought the snake did, because I did have the Snake Mountain playset, so my idea was that the snake was this giant beast that guarded the entrance of Snake Mountain there. So
yeah, and then you get a little bit of the dialogue, much you would think He-Man in filmation.
Yeah,
shit that he would say as he's dropping the snowball off. At this point, he thinks he sees Teela, says, "I look like her. She went through Skeletor's gate. Couldn't be her. Why would Teela go to Snake Mountain?"
And this I used in that Leech mini comic that where I pulled this straight from or pulled that idea was from this image here, that the gateway to the Fright Zone was to this man-eating plant, which I thought that was really fucking like odd and cool at the same time.
Yeah,
like,
it is interesting to take that route, because they explain here, there it is, the portal to the Fright Zone. A large man-eating plant opened its mouth and swallowed Evil Lyn whole. So when she appears, there's Hordak, here's Grizzler's looking like
he looks
badass.
So fucking menacing here.
Yeah.
I dare say probably the most menacing of the entire vintage run. Like above filmation, above the vintage toy, above the mini comics, right here where he just looks, just fucking ferocious, man.
Yeah, he looks great.
He looks fucking amazing, dude. I would love to see more of that look. And it's a very beautiful looking image too, of him holding Evil Lyn and she's staring down Hordak.
Mm-hmm.
And she's there to make a pact with Hordak,
And of course, Hordak being all like, why are you here? And she's like, well, I can do this. It's like, all right, well, let her go for now. But yeah, it's a great image.
Yeah, it's just, it always left such an impression on me. And this is something too that would have made a great filmation episode.
Absolutely.
Because Evil Lyn never showed up in She-Ra at all. And they would try it with Shadows of Skulls and it fucking sucked. It's a great premise, but poorly executed.
Yeah.
So.
And this is when Evil Lyn brings up the Jewel of Ages.
Yeah.
Hordak, inquisitive, what's the jewel? And she says, whoever wears it has great power, but they must follow Skeletor's orders.
And I love Hordak's color scheme here too.
Oh,
he's mainly all black with some breaks of white,
Yeah, I love these alternate. You look. Yeah, I love the alternate looks of the Horde here.
Yeah,
it's
and what's cool. Weird too is that when you see Grizzlor in the Horde Golden Book, doesn't look anything. Not nowhere near as good as he's illustrated here. And I'm thinking like, it feels like this book comes before the Horde book, but the way the characters look in that book almost look like it's the very first one, because the illustrations are not polished. The posing is kind of awkward and almost as if like a lot of them were just pulled from like the old concept drawings at times.
Yeah.
But this is by far like some of the best looking art, I think. That and River of Ruin has the most polished artwork of the entire run of these hardcover books.
Hordak saying, "I must have this jewel," and knowing Evil Lyn, you want something in return. Evil Lyn saying, "Yeah, just make sure Teela never returns to Eternia.
Take her, take whatever you want to, just get her out of Snake Mountain." And this, I remember this image too. I found a bit frightening as a kid. Not like give me nightmares, but it's just like, oh man, a Skeletor, like the shadow, like his silhouette just lurking, as Teela's trying to get around Snake Mountain.
Well, that brings up a good question then. Was there anything in Master Universe as a kid that absolutely terrified you and gave you nightmares, made it hard for you to sleep?
Not sleep, but House Shakoti Part 1 and 2 scared the fuck out of me. And I'm not fucking kidding. I really was.
That's fair.
Genuinely frightened, which is why I didn't rent it that much.
Mm.
It was almost like I ran through the gauntlet of all the episodes, all the tapes that Beyond Video had to rent, and I would begrudgingly rent the House Shakoti Part 1 and 2 tape. And I'm like, oh my! Even looking at the back of the box, you see that image of Mask, guard pulling his cape up from the explosion with Trap Jaw, and then Shakoti holding her skull out to Stanley. It was just creepy shit to me, let alone sitting there and actually watching it. And it was fucking frightening.
And at some point, the parents caught on. It's like, you're not renting this.
No, I was quiet about it. That's the thing, though. I'm quietly watching this and being scared out of my mind watching it, but never would go and run and tell my mom. And oh my god, I'm too scared, because I'm not going to admit to anything anything in a He-Man cartoon is frightening me.
Right.
There were a couple of images, like when Queen Elmore and She-Demon Ephantus becomes a demon witch. That scared me, because creepy old ladies always scared the hell out of me.
I mean, even still, creepy old ladies are still creepy as adults.
Watch The Shining,
But I understand why you didn't say anything to your parents, because you didn't want this taken away from you. You were like, you can't watch any Master Universe.
Yeah, and it's just, I was getting enough shit as it is. Like, don't you want to rent something else? No. It's just like they get tired of hearing the music playing in the other room, or dad's making fun of it because I'm renting it all the time, and just shut the fuck up and let me watch this. I'm not bothering anybody. I'm not being loud. I'm being quiet and sitting there being entertained by my favorite cartoon, my favorite toy, and you guys are giving me shit about it.
It's just. Sucks.
But I was that fucking religious. I was going to rent a He-Man cartoon, and if it wasn't He-Man, it's going to be She-Ra. And that's just how it was. I was, if we went to Beyond Video, the smell of that video store, I could point out today if I smelled it right now, and just go right to the kid cartoons and look at those which one I'm going to rent today. I wish
some of those smells that you could just get like a candle for.
Oh, I got that for that King Video, who had the greatest selection of He-Man tapes known to man. The sound of the door opening up.
Well, let me ask then. What did it smell like? Because they all do have their distinctive smells, like Blockbuster.
Blockbuster Video had a very distinct aroma as well. But there's something about Beyond Video and King Video.
It's probably just whatever they used to clean the carpet.
It may have been that. I remember the Beyond Video door had an extremely squeaky door, and it was the smell of movies. Is how I described it. Because that was the first video store I remember going to. It was 1987, and going there and hearing that door squeaking, and the horror movies are one row in front of the kid cartoons. So they're and just you
they knew what they were doing with that.
Well, I go look at them as soon as my mom's checking out, because that's when I had the balls to go over there. Okay, I want to go look at the Freddy and Jaws covers real quick. Look at Halloween too. Oh my god, look at that Friday Man with the pumpkin in the skull. What is that about?
I don't want to find out.
But that aroma, I just associate that smell of He-Man and the Greatest Adventures of All VHS tape, and Return of Orko's Uncle, and so on and so forth. And
man.
And King Video, the children's movies towards the back of the store, and wandering through the aisles trying to get where are the He-Man tapes, where are the She-Ra tapes, man.
We could probably spend an entire episode just recalling certain smells of certain places and tying them to certain things. One in particular, obviously, I think of, and you and I talk about this beautiful department store all the time, Hills.
I knew you were gonna say, because Hills had a very distinct aroma too.
Yeah, the popcorn.
Oh God.
the popcorn pretty much hit you in the face when you walked in. So it's that, but that I can't describe the other smells, but it makes me think of the toy aisle. It makes me think of looking at video games, playing on the kiosks, checking out some of the newer stuff. But yeah, the popcorn for sure, popcorn, icy. You probably get a hint of like the hot dogs on the rollers too.
That and I mean, it was food. Like the hot dogs, I found intriguing, but to me, like, because my mom adored the popcorn so much, no matter what it was, if we were going there just to browse, looking for like Christmas things to ask Santa Claus for, we were not leaving Hills without an icy and a big ass bag of popcorn. That was a lot. No matter what, you were getting that combo.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the same thing with my parents. Always left with a bag of popcorn.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
That was just like, okay, you're not getting a toy, but we'll get some popcorn and icy. Like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's again, Hills, that that aroma of looking for He-Man toys there, G.I. Joe, Turtles, Street Fighter, G.I. Joe figures, so on and so forth. It was just that, it's I'm sure everyone has their certain aromas for the toy stores that they had back then, whether it's Toys R Us. I forgot some of the other like chains that were going around at the time, but
KB.
Of course, KB, K&K, from Best Department Store, Roses, Hex. I mean, it just those are sights and smells that I don't think people today are walking the Target and like, boy, I remember 20 years ago and going to Target. No. Like, I don't think Target and Walmart are going to have that kind of impression on people.
No, I
mean, not because they're still here, but
well, I mean, even as a kid, Walmart didn't really hit in that same way like all those other stores did for me.
It didn't, even though like when my mom shopped more at Walmart, when it was just the standard small Walmart, you go in there and get Marvel superhero figures. It's kind of like the bread and butter of that time, but and that was exciting, but it didn't have the magic of Hills and Roses. It just didn't.
Yep, it's not the same. But
no, and I think most people will tell you that, whether they're our age or older than us, that those stores, man, that was just it
was different.
It was a different time, man. Department stores that were a big draw, man. Like no matter, and I imagine most days of the week, not to mention the holidays, those stores were plenty busy.
Yeah.
And malls had a KB or a K&K or some sort of toy store of some kind that was packed out the ass with action figures.
Yeah. Yeah, those KB stores would pack a lot of shit in there for such a small space.
Yeah, and I think about like the one that used to be in Roanoke at Tanglewood Mall, like where I saw the Night Stalker Jitsu 2-pack. I remember that being a big fucking store, like on the bottom floor in the corner. Like, oh my God, like it was just ungodly the amount of room and toys that were in that place. And when you're 4 and 5 years old, and you're told, okay, you got to pick, you get pick something. We got to get down the road. Like they don't understand the magnitude of telling a child you got a limited time to pick out one toy.
Yeah, you got to make a 10 choice.
Aisles of figures to look through. Like you might as well strap a bond to my chest. So you got 30 seconds. It's just like we've talked about that countless times. Some parents are more lenient with their kids than others, and I don't want to paint the picture that my parents by any means were drill sergeants about it, but there was always that time limit. Okay, look, you've looked enough. You need to pick something. We got to go.
Nope. I as far as I can recall, I never had a time limit on such things. But as I also stated, I think my dad was really living vicariously through his son of just because he enjoyed looking at that stuff and the times that we would play with action figures. I would like to think that he enjoyed that too. Maybe not so much putting the shit together on Christmas morning, but maybe he did. I don't know. But we'll jump back into Teela's secret here. Yeah. Teela's made her way. She's in there in Snake Mountain. Skeletor pops up. She's already thinking, "Is this a mistake? I was wrong." Oh, so you have your doubts. So I just once again, you brought up Filmation. You could easily just any of this dialogue here. You can see the scene. Look into this. Then your mom asked me to give this to you. Go ahead, put it on. And so,
and just the jewel like holding out to her, and she's become hypnotized by its power. And again, this as an adult reading this, I'm thinking that this is diabolical.
Dude, it is, because the whole thing here is when she looks into it and falls under the spell, she just sees this lie that Skeletor is about to tell.
Oh, and the lie too is just it's unbelievable. I'm like rereading it. I'm like, oh my god, like I forgot. I was like, I was so like, even though I remembered the majority of the story, but that's a detail. I'm like telling Teela, oh yeah, well, see, your mother here, Man at Arms stole you as a baby from your real mother
and locked you in this dungeon.
I'm thinking like that's early season 1 Skeletor. Like that's the kind of shit he would have done just for the sake of like, I want to take Teela away and make her my own, make her one of my closest allies, and just fuck with her past.
And then pulls a Darth Vader here and says, "And I, Skeletor, am your father."
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And all right, this is a beautiful illustration of just the Teela just looks so well drawn here, and you just see Skeletor like it's just kind of maybe almost like 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 when you're hypnotizing
someone, yeah.
But just like holding it there, and just the music that Shooky Levy would have playing during the sequence here, or put together, and as Teela falls into the spell of the Jewel of Ages and tells her, "Here, put it on. It's yours. Your mother wanted you to have this." Like this would make, and just see, look, there's another beautiful illustration as she's slowly falling under the spell of this. And just is, all right, your first request from your father is to defeat Man at Arms, defeat He-Man.
Oh man, that's a kind of a tall order.
It's powerful shit, dude. It really is, and would make such a great story in Filmation, man.
So Teela's acting strange when she returns to the palace, and everyone's taking notice. And Adam's saying she must still feel bad. I'll try to help her out. That's a pretty necklace, Teela. Where'd you get it? I don't have to tell you that. And then she leaves. So it's like, all right, yeah, she's still being kind of bitchy, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, she's just,
I mean, look, she's drawn. I mean, Adam not so much here in this shot, but Teela
looks great right there.
Yeah.
I really like how she's the look, and this right here too.
I like the. Yeah, I enjoy this a lot because it's showing Man at Arms saying that he's worried. It's time for Teela's weapons practice. I'll talk to her, but as soon as this goes on, Teela starts to attack. But I love Adam's going to transform into He-Man, and then on the side here is when we get.
And this would happen in River Ruin as well too. We're like, we've already done the transformation, or we'll do it again here. We'll just have a nice little presentation. A small, slim drawing to illustrate, okay, here's the transformation sequence again, but it's not going to take about a whole another page.
Yeah.
It's just efficient storytelling here with the illustrations, I think.
I should just take this side shot and then just in the beam going up, just write subscribe.
That would be brilliant. Do it, man. Do it.
I'm gonna put it on the screen during the show sometimes. Yeah. But Teela's attacking Man at Arms. And at this point, you win for now, He-Man, but Skeletor and I will beat you both. And then she holds on to the jewel and she disappears.
And that's when they realize, oh my God, Skeletor's got her under his control. Like we got to go to Snake Mountain. Like this is a lot more deeper than we thought.
Yeah, I mean, look at Duncan right here, just totally in shock,
like heartbroken, like his daughter's trying to kill him.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a very
aggressive, like. Shot,
very malicious.
Like this, they think they're just going to do some practice, and this here I thought was so cool. Like, and this ship will be featured in the Horde book as well, if I remember correctly. And it's Hordak's light cruiser.
Yeah, it's
which cool I just thought was like a cool concept. Like just like it's not trying to hide anything. Like I'm fucking here, lights at the fucking sky.
Yeah. The Hordak fires a ray of light at Skeletor's castle. Snake Mountain trembled and shook. We rang Skeletor's bell, Hordak said. Now we will pay him a little visit.
And then Elan's warning, like, there's a trap door. It's like, I'm not worried about doors.
Where we're going, we don't need doors.
And
God, look at that. That's fucking cool,
I remember trying to draw Hordak in that pose, too, because I just thought, like, he was so fucking imposing with Grizzlor standing. Just that shot. Like, Evil Lyn looking like, yeah, I've shown up with your worst enemy, so fuck you, Skeletor. What are you going to do now?
This would be great to put on a t-shirt.
Wouldn't it, dude?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Can't you make something happen there? And Put it on T Public there. And...
we'll see.
All right.
But so in seeing this, though, because as we go through, I believe they're going to mention Leech, right?
Leech, Montana.
So is this in behind? Is this just kind of the shadow that they're casting, or are we led to believe that maybe this is like maybe Leech hulking in behind everybody?
I've always took it that was like part of Snake Mountain that they were standing in front of. That's what I always thought. Like that they have arrived. Here we are.
I guess. Yeah.
I guess took it as that their face, they're staring down Skeletor. Like this is the big money shot where Evelyn thinks that she is one-upped Skeletor by showing up with his biggest rival. Like the Horde is in her pocket.
Yeah. But then when you think
her.
Yeah, of course, because of course they do.
Yeah. Which was like, again, as a child reading this, like, holy shit, man, like nothing's going right here.
Yeah. Evil Lynn saying, you're breaking your word. We're supposed to be working together. Here's a promise I'll keep, Hordak. Laughed after we beat Skeletor, I will take care of you once and for all.
I mean, you think about this. This is such an ambitious story that it's not only telling a story of Teela's plight to figure out her mother, but we've got the Horde getting involved in a big part, and Evil Lynn having an arc of like, I'm going to get revenge on Skeletor, and I hate Teela.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much going on in this story here. And just like, again, looking at this through adult eyes, like this is a very ambitious story that it's you're getting such a simple story in terms of like dialogue and narration of what's going on with things that they can't depict in all these illustrations, but you're getting such an intelligent story that's telling very important like female arcs in this. I mean, this is all driven by Evil and Teela's quests, no pun intended, of what means the most to them. And you got the Horde involved as well, and the Evil Warriors, and He-Man and Man-at-Arms, and you don't feel like it's oversaturated, or that you're getting too ambitious for the space that you have.
Yeah, it works very well, and especially being told in such a short amount of time within the Golden Book. But I do love this here when Skeletor is surprised to see Hordak, but then looks at Evil Lynn and says, "Oh, you're with Hordak now? It doesn't matter. Teela's already taken your place."
Yeah, it's still like you know what? This doesn't mean anything to me. So fuck you.
Yeah, and then Evil.
It would be very easy to visualize season 1 Skeletor and Evil Lynn like having words about this, and classically written Hordak being a complete prick. Towards Evil Lynn about this. Like, I'm here, to take out Skeletor, and then now a big battle ensues.
Yep. It's all for the jewel, and at this point, Teela's gonna show him all the power that the jewel possesses.
And right there, Too Bad uses both his heads to fight Grizzlor and Montana, and Leech attacks Skeletor.
Yeah, we don't get to see it.
Don't get to see none of it. It's just all drawn in silhouette back there. Like, I want to see that, motherfucker.
I'm like, who threw the chair? So Montana's X-ray eyes saw He-Man, Man-at-Arms outside of Snake Mountain. Montana tells Hordak He-Man's here. Don't worry about that. Teela will soon be mine. Then He-Man will learn the power of the Horde.
And I always thought the illustration of Montana was quite menacing too. Like,
with the teeth,
and everything. Like, it's kind of like odd and excessively slim, but his face looks very, frightening. And I don't know. It's a simple illustration, but in Hordak with a sword.
Yeah, it's very just the way that he's contorted, very body horror-esque. But who do you think threw the chair? If you had to put it on one of these characters, who do you think was the one that threw the chair?
I'm gonna imagine Too Bad, probably.
Yeah, could be, but I just thought that was interesting. It's like, oh yeah,
or it'd be funny if Evil Lynn threw the chair. Like, she's throwing it at Skeletor, just like even the heat of all this shit, and the Horde turn on her, she's still gonna throw a chair at Skeletor.
Yeah. So the He-Man, Man-at-Arms gonna make their way in. Man-at-Arms saying, "Look out for traps." So the ground gives way under Man-at-Arms. He-Man saying, I'll join you. So we're going to fall through here. And of course, they fall down a slide. Round and round they slid. This probably goes straight into the mouth of one of Skeletor's pets, He-Man says. It's time we got all... it's time we get off this ride. It definitely sounds Filmation-esque.
Yeah, I could hear John Irwin saying that as he gets ready to blast a hole or punch a hole through the wall, or like we're getting off this fucking slide.
Yep, and they land in the middle of the fight. In fact, they land right on top of Hordak.
And I just always like that visual of Hordak's like chin hitting the ground, and just as a kid, like having hit your chin on various things, like wondering, like, okay, that had to hurt like a motherfucker when Hordak like has He-Man and Manos fall on him was not painful enough, but then your chin hits the ground
bounces
immediately.
off.
That's just what I visualized when I looked at this as a kid.
Hopefully he didn't bite his tongue, but going how Montana was, I really like how this was drawn as well.
This was so odd to me as a kid. Like, I just didn't know what to make of it. Like, knowing that they're disappearing, but this stretching of their bodies as they're evaporating, probably back up to the light cruiser and going back to the fright zone. You know, is a very interesting illustration of Hordak like threatening Skeletor as they like, all right, we're out of here.
Yeah, and Hordak saying, "I'll come back to get you. You're gonna get yours." As he goes back up to the light cruiser. Skeletor saying, "Thanks for the help, He-Man. Let me pay you back by beating you. The secrets of Castle Grayskull will be mine. Then I'll stop Hordak and rule both Eternia and Etheria." So Teela, you got to obey the Jewel of Ages, attack them, and then at this point, you see here, she's like, "All right, we're going into it." And then He-Man saying, "Look, come on, look at me. You know who I am." Kind of thing.
I would love to see this have an emotional moment of He-Man trying to talk Teela out of this and let her emotion break the spell that the Jewel is having on her, and having John Irwin's delivery as Linda Gary's portrayal of like her battling with what she's dealing with internally, that struggle, like in the music that would be playing during the sequence here, it would be just so fucking beautiful, man.
Yep.
Oh my God.
And then with Man-at-Arms saying, "Skeletor tricked you. He's not your father. Your mother is alive and well." So then she stops, looks at the jewel, and then the battle raging within her. "Here's what I think of your jewel." So she fucking
tears it off and gives it to He-Man.
And then crushes it.
Yeah.
Or he hits it with all of his might, and then it blows up.
Which it's easy.
I would like to picture him more just like take it with his hands.
He says he raised power, so I'm assuming like, you know, he either threw it in the air and hit it like a baseball, and it just blew up with the impact of the sword hitting it, or on the ground and just plunged it into it and just destroyed it.
Yeah. So when she
just collapses due to the emotional like fatigue that she went through.
Yeah.
It's a great illustration.
She faints, but yeah. Saying here, "I've had enough of Snake Mountain." So let's and Skeletor is too afraid to stop them. So he's just gonna.
He's like, because he was relying on Teela to be the downfall of He-Man, and I was like, all right, well, my plan's fucked, so I'm out.
Yeah. So they get back. He-Man places Teela before the sorceress. She puts her hand on Teela's head. "Wake up, my daughter. One day you will be able to call me mother." So at that moment, Teela wakes up, and she was okay. But then at this point, the sorceress has done her job, and we can't let you know right now. And
that, you know, that can be unkind or even dangerous to ourselves and to our friends. You know, just that you want things so badly, but what's it worth? You know, the cost of other people's lives to figure out some of these secrets. And this is where I feel like, you know, again, Filmation-esque, where you just would have this very tender moment of Teela trying to like understand like the magnitude of like what trying to figure out the secret really is costing not only her but her family, you know, the people she cares about. And it's really just like, oh my God, it makes you wonder, like, okay, look what this has done to me, trying to figure out who my mother is. Like, it really has to say something is really big about, well, who could my mother be that would cause this kind of chaos and panic and hurt so many people? You know, and then you think about how good that story would be on the day that she would find out.
Yeah.
You know, and just how mind-blowing, you know, it would be for that character to not only learn who her mother is, but okay, if you're the guardian of Grayskull, you know, so you work with He-Man a lot, and you work with my father a lot, and then would have to find out, like, who He-Man really is, and
Yeah.
it would be written like the fucked up shit Ted Biaselli shit out, where it's just turned into the ultimate bitch,
I was
the most
wondering.
egotistical bitch ever written.
I was wondering if you were gonna circle into that at some point.
I would, in a polite way, like, dude, what the fuck were you thinking? You took a moment that should have made this character an emotional wreck in the most intelligent way of like, oh my god, this character has so much to process. Now you just turn into the most egotistical, self-centered bitch. and you because you just have a hard on to see her become the most manliest woman in the universe.
But in this universe, I was gonna say Sorceress wouldn't have been proud of that, but Sorceress makes a point to tell Teela here and let her know, yeah, your mom is very, very proud of you and your courage.
Again, that's how you write the Sorceress. That's how you write Teela. That's how you write Masters of the Universe. And if people may get so fucking fed up with like, you guys are stuck in the past, like, you know what? If the past wasn't that good, I think I'd be more than happy to welcome the newer shit. If the newer shit was better, but it's not, and it never will be, because the right tree stumps are doing all the writing, making all the decisions, taking big shits, looking in the toilet. Oh my god, I got a brilliant idea. Look at this shit.
But that is how we wrap up Teela's Secret. We get the end. We get Man at Arms giving you the wink. At least I guess anyway was the intention.
It's a wink,
here.
like it's just like they would do it in Filmation a lot too. Like when they realize like, hey, look, we know what's going on here. We know who's who, and we know it's going to happen one day. Secret safe with us,
Yeah, so he can hopefully maybe breathe a little bit easier and get him a little rest before he has to stress out about something else going on.
Yeah.
But that was Teela's Secret. I kind of take back a little bit what I was saying before, where I was just, oh, the art's just okay in this. And I think maybe it's just where I was reading it on my phone. Mm-hmm. Having it here and looking at it a second time, it's like, yeah, for the most part,
it's pretty fucking good.
A lot of Evil Lynn looks really, really
good. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Her and Grizzler are by far look the most
absolutely striking
of everybody.
We'll see what we can do. Maybe get that image on a shirt or something.
Yeah, even if it's got to be up for a short time, whatever. Like I'll buy it immediately.
Yeah, we'll figure out something with that. But yeah, dude, should we give it like a rating out of 10? I guess
I give it a 10 out of 10 because I still say it's the best of all the Golden Book stories. I think it and even rereading it, currently, I just feel like, oh my god, this, I just reread it. Oh my god, this is really fucking good. Like it's just as good as I remember, if not even better.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I had everything we talked about tonight. I had no real plan of like, I just like, okay, it's gonna be fun to talk about. So everything that I was spewing out crazily, like I was all like in the moment. No, like I'm not.
It's like not crazy at all.
Any of this stuff.
No, that's not crazy at all. I mean, after reading that, like, damn, dude, I'm kind of eager to check out the rest of those hardcover stories because I haven't read any of those yet. So I'm curious to see how those will follow up. Like,
yeah, and I like I said, some of them like He-Man Smells Trouble and the Skeletor's Flower of Power, like they're very clunky looking stories. They're not pretty to look at. I Have the Power. I remember having such high hopes with that because all you had on the back of these books, except for the Horde book, was the name of all the books in the series and a brief synopsis. Yeah. And for years, just reading those synopses and wondering what those stories entail, like who was in that story, what was going to happen here, and being so underwhelmed when I finally got them. I'm like, oh, this is it. Like all these years of waiting and realized the two that I owned were the best of the bunch. But we'll have to go back and reread some of these and just plan to cover all of them.
Yeah, I very much look forward to exploring the rest of the hardcover Golden books, but I will also give it a 10. Just it's very well told in such a concise manner, but just all the stuff you were bringing up too, and just all the unexplored aspects of Teela as a character and wanting to find out who her mother is and doing more with that could be really awesome to see. It's a shame that we didn't get more of that stuff.
Give her like, a continuous like that's not what the story would focus on, but as like a season or like or an entire year of comic book writing.
Yeah,
Every
something.
so often,
Yeah,
every few issues, you have her dealing with those issues or coming close to figuring something out, and or trying to put something together that she thinks, oh, that maybe this is who my mother is. In terms, it has nothing to do with it. It's just you play around with that, and then eventually have her written to where she comes to terms like, you know what, if I know my mother's alive and I know she's proud of me, I can wait until the time is right. It won't be soon enough, but it's at least I know I have something I'll never stop being looking forward to. Like,
yeah,
that give her that arc of like learning patience, because she is a very impetuous character, and I think that's something part of her upbringing of like, let's go kick some ass, kick some ass. No, 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 I want to go too, and I would axe all that shit. I
yeah,
would have her more mature in that aspect. Give Adam some grief because he's playing it up, but not make her such an unlikable hard ass. Like, give her some feminine qualities too, which there are touches of that in
yeah.
Filmation, but I feel like there's so much more you could be doing with that character, where she is so well respected by her peers, not just by
Mhm.
the Royal Guard, but the other heroic warriors, because she has no special powers other than she's trained by the greatest in combat, man at arms. So she can fight. She can hold her own with a variety of weapons, from guns to spears to swords, hand to hand combat, taking on guys who are twice her size, you know, and make her someone that, yeah, she deserves to hang with the boys. She's leading the fucking Royal Guard, for God's sake. There's nothing
Yeah,
to sit there and say like, my place is with you and He-Man. Like,
yeah,
no, no, you don't write a character with that kind of title like she's a child that just like wants to be part of the boys club all the time.
yeah.
She is the boys club.
Right. Yeah.
She's leading it, for God's sake.
Yeah. So there's plenty of aspects plenty of things to explore. Add some extra layers. Add some more character development for Teela. But Tyler, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Close the book on Teela's Secret. We'll go ahead, roll some commercials, then we'll get into some feedback on one of our other episodes, and I want to talk more about GoBots. So we'll do all that right after this.
Now relive the magical adventures of the movie Willow with these amazing characters that bring the story to life. There's the heroic swordsman Matt Mardigan.
Oh, and this war for you?
The evil sorceress Bab Morda. The dreaded General Cave.
I'll crush the rebels!
And brave Willow himself. The epic battles, good versus evil. You can bring the magic of Willow home with collectible figures, vehicles, and accessories, each sold separately. Willow, the magic lies within.
Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. New York has a new problem. Rated R. Starts Friday, July 28th at theaters everywhere.
Let the games begin. Now, 7-Eleven presents the American Gladiators Live Tour. November 14th at the Metro Center. The area's top athletes battle your favorite American gladiators. Ice, Gemini, Laser, Gold, Nitro, Thunder, and more in America's most exciting game. Tickets now at all Ticketmasters, Metro Center, or charged by phone. 7-Eleven presents the American Gladiators Live Tour.
And we're back. Before we get into feedback, one thing I meant to kind of cover before we started getting into the Golden Book, because we haven't heard much about it since it was announced, but He-Man in the Master Universe, Dragon Pearl of Destruction, finally got a release date this week. It's going to drop. I guess it's going to drop on April 28th. So as of this recording, we're only a couple months out now. At this point, by the time this comes out and makes it to air, we'll be even closer to the game's release. But gonna drop on PS5, Steam, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch. Probably 1 and 2, of course, but just a couple of shots. So we get Chakotay, Evil-Lyn, Skeletor, which I did see a comment because this popped up on my Facebook feed a couple times. It's not shit I follow. It's just how Facebook is now. But this popped up once, and I saw a comment that said, "Who's the lady on the right?" And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I mean, I just goes, hey, not all of them could be an expert. Not all of them have watched.
But that's what bothers me is that's what the fan base today has become, the bare minimum brigade. You know, if it ain't at your local fucking Walmart, I don't know what that is. The Filmation, that's that gay show, right? Yeah, I ain't watching that shit. Like this isn't that kind of like what's his name? The guy that makes all those fucked up creatures and stuff like that. It's the Sleeping Beast. Yes, it's Cthulhu. It's Lovecraftian inspired. Yes, asshole.
But 4 playable characters, so it's He-Man, She-Ra, Man-at-Arms, and Teela are the 4. I'm sure at some point maybe they'll add DLC, have some other characters in
Fisto,
there.
Clamp Champ.
But as far as I know, it's only 2-player co-op, so I don't think you can have all 4 characters going on at the same time. But I assume you'll be able to play online with another friend. So yeah,
there's the Goblin Warriors for those people that are like, oh, who are these guys?
Yeah. And once again, in the trailer that they just released, you actually see the more of like that special ability too, where Granomir comes in and fucking breathes some fire on everyone and clears the screen. So that's just a few of the screenshots that I've seen floating around. But April 28th is when it's coming out. So I'm curious the price point on that. I would assume it's probably, I would say anywhere between 15 to 30. I can't see it being exceeding the $30 mark. So very much looking forward to picking that up. As I was talking with you about it, Tyler, most of the time these days, I just, on my PS5, I will wish list a game and I will wait for it to go on sale in a certain week. So I'm always checking the PlayStation Network sales week to week. And but this one I'll probably pay the full price for.
Well, when you do, I definitely want to come over and play it because that'd be the only way I'll get to play it. So,
oh man, just buy you a PS5.
I have no desire to get anything current because it'll go to waste like the PS3. I played that for a while and then it just collected dust.
I'm not so sure though because there's so many vintage games. Because I showed you they announced that Marvel Maximum Collection that's going to have the X-Men arcade game, Captain
Spider-Man
America
arcade, and
it's not going to have It's not going to have Spider-Man arcade.
I thought Spider-Man was on there.
No, that's just it's just going to be like the LJN Spider-Man games that came out on Super Nintendo and stuff. Yeah.
Damn it! I could have swore I thought I saw a screenshot from the Spider-Man arcade. Damn it!
No, but the biggest selling point for that's the X-Men arcade
because and Avengers.
Because I have the X-Men arcade game on my Xbox 360, so I have like that Simpsons arcade and all that stuff on there. But yeah, I'll pick that up strictly just for the X-Men arcade. You're
getting good.
With Colossus and his special maneuver. But yeah, I'm excited for that video game, so I will definitely pick that up when it releases in a couple months. Another thing that got announced, I'll put the image of it up right now so you can take a look at this. They're kind of doing the shit I've been talking about for years. I've been saying, hey, do 3 3/4 inch, and these are going to be a little bit bigger than that. I'm led to believe. I'll have to look at it again. I think they're a little bit bigger than, or maybe it's smaller. I think it's like
3. I thought they were going to be smaller than 3 3/4. I thought.
Yeah, I think it's 3 1/4 inch, not 3 3/4.
But they don't look like an appropriate like smaller line. They look, very similar to those little miniature figures that they were pushing during the classics line too. Like they just don't look like. When I think 3 3/4 around that scale, I'm thinking like the size of G.I. Joe, articulation, or a little bit, and they just look short, stubby, and not that impressive.
Yeah,
I just, as much as I would love to have seen a legitimate line in that size, I don't think it's a very good looking line.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me feel okay. Well, I got to buy those.
Yeah. So we'll see how that all pans out too, and how far that ends up going, and if they end up doing.
Just be like, this is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive 4-pack. It'll be $150 for all 4.
I mean, it could just be a very limited thing. They just put out the the core characters that you see regurgitated all the time, and they'll just stop it. So we'll see how that turns out. Let's get into some feedback here. This comes from our Brave Star episode where we covered The Price. It was very serious, and it was very haunting and dark and sad and all the emotions that we had here. But a lot of the premiere chat stuff kind of was around the other conversations that we had going on. So this all starts off here with Oliver Belmont. British actor Daniel Craig, who played 007, was labeled as the lethal Bond. I recall that back in 2006, some fans disliked Craig as 007, but when Casino Royale became a hit, they apologized. And I kind of equated that very much to how it was when Heath Ledger was cast as the Joker. It's like, just looking at the actor, you're like, there's no way this is going to work. And then when you finally sit down and watch the movie, you're like, oh, wow. Who would have thought? I never had any problem with Daniel Craig.
No, I didn't. If anything, I was more excited because I had no desire to watch any of the Pierce Brosnan. I was like, oh, God, that looks like shit.
And it made me seek out, because he did a movie called Layer Cake before he was cast. So I went and I watched that. I don't remember much of that movie, if I'm being honest, but seeing his presence, and I'm like, yeah, I can see how he's going to work his Bond. It's going to be great. And then when you and I went opening weekend and saw Casino Royale, it blew us away. And even when I watched it a couple weeks back, it's that and Skyfall for me are still at the top. And yes, Tyler, I have still not watched No Time to Die yet.
It'd be worth it when you finally see it, though, dude. I mean, it's going back and again, watching Skyfall last weekend, watching Casino Royale last night again, just because I was like, I'm crazy about these movies all over again, and just like, son of a bitch, it's just so fucking cool. The women are amazing. I love the score, the action sequences. It's just like this. This just has me so enthralled in it, and I'm like, I remember the backlash too. Like, oh, he's got blonde hair. Like, he looks fucking cool, man. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you people? And
yeah, I mean, it's the whole thing. It's like, he's just breaking tradition. But we have Johnny Cock here saying, "Where's the James Zena Bond reboot?" Now, I remember there were talks at some point they wanted to make a female Bond, which I would have absolutely no problem with if they did it correctly and approached it correctly, and it's basically just a gender swap. Oh yeah, we're gonna have this badass chick that's like really good at seducing dudes and getting information that she needs along the way. It can be done. Obviously, I wouldn't call it anything related to in the James Bond universe. I wouldn't. I mean, I guess you could. I don't know. It could work. Anything can work.
But you know, they could come up with their own character and just have her do the exact same thing as James Bond, and just say, we're not going to call her, James Zena Bond or something that plays off that name, but we are going to make her that character. We're going to make her someone who is hard-edged, who will use men, seduce them, get what she wants out of them, sleep with them if she wants to or needs to, kick ass, shoot people, take names, and do that. But, I think people are afraid to have women be overly sexual in movies today, where it's like they're steering clear of, sexualizing women in general in movies. And I like that's the character. You can't, if you're going to make a female James Bond, she has to be someone who seduces, uses sex, likes sex. Mm-hmm. It's a weapon, it's a tool, but also something you enjoy. Like, people want to pretend like, okay, well, she's not human then. Because, why would a female action lady be promiscuous or sexual? Like, that's wrong. That's evil. Yeah. That's not how women are. Yeah, no, women don't like to fuck.
Yeah,
they don't. Whether you're straight or gay, like, oh, they're into that shit.
Yeah,
it's just like, come on, then don't bother.
Mm.
What? Do something else. Do something else and let it fail at the box office.
Yeah. If
you're gonna do this, do it right.
Oh man, did you see that? Scream 7 opened this weekend. Like, god damn. In my mind, I'm like, what can you do at this point? But when it inevitably drops on streaming, I'll probably check it out because I've watched all the other ones. I
don't know how you did.
Dude, the 6th one was really fucking bad. But moving on to some more, staying within the James Bond realm. Fedmon asking here, what about James Bond Jr. cartoon series? Any thoughts on that? And should it get a DVD release? Also, you remember anything about the toy line? And then went to say James Bond Jr. is on YouTube, by the way, but the quality is low budget VHS at best. I haven't revisited it. I think you and I have kind of touched on this a little bit before. I had Jaws from the toy line.
He was the
And
one I wanted the most from the toy line.
yeah, I probably still have him. He's packed away
And
somewhere.
I think he was like the more like in like when that toy line would be featured in price guides back in the day, like in Lee's Toy Review or Toy Fair magazine or any of the other. Jaws was the one toy of that line that was like a little bit more expensive than all the others.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. But I remember seeing ads for the VHS tapes and comic books. Getting to see a little bit of the series on TV, which I was intrigued because getting familiar with who James Bond was at the time with Sean Connery, and then knowing there's going to be an animated series like a junior James Bond, like I'll be there. And
Yeah.
there's a female Goldfinger, and Jaws is in the series, and all these like interesting looking villains. At least I thought so at the time. And I thought this has got to be great. And I've not watched it in over 30 years, and I've never heard anybody speak highly of it. Almost as if like, but then again, too, that might be when it's brought up, people are just inclined to like, yeah, it fucking sucks, man.
Yeah.
Like, based on what? Because you think it's the cool thing to say is, oh, it's old, so it sucks balls.
Yep.
Or it doesn't hold up because I heard someone else say it doesn't.
Yeah. So I need to, if some of those are on YouTube, I'm assuming the whole series is probably on there, but just in the VHS quality, I'll check out some of it. And then to answer the other question, should it get a DVD release? Absolutely. I think any of these old cartoons need to be remastered and put out on discs or digital, just so people can consume them in the best way intended.
Yeah, I mean, I think of so many obscure. I think of like Peter Pan and the Pirates, which I was like, Captain Hook doesn't have a mustache. This isn't right. But that was a cartoon I did enjoy watching on Fox Kids. Back in there when it was like the Fox Kids cartoons was kind of a newer thing. And it was weekdays. I think it was right before Batman animated series came on, and that's just one random obscure cartoon. I mean, I think about like Bionic 6 has not gotten an official release of any kind, not even like a best of or like anything like that. I mean, I'm very fortunate that He-Man and She-Ra both got releases. Thundercats, Silverhawks, Brave Star, and a lot of these GoBots, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Turtles. All the heavy hitters, got releases like in a time where you're like, oh my God, no one's going to remember this stuff. I'm the only one walking the planet remembers this stuff or even cares about it. Like, no, it gets wide releases and it's all released all over the world and uploaded on various platforms to watch and like all this stuff. And that's one of the best things about YouTube as well is that people are like, okay, this doesn't have a release. I'll just upload all these episodes of this obscure cartoon. Maybe someone remembers it, maybe they don't, but it's there. And that's a decade of animation. Like it all needs to be recognized, whether it's good or bad. You may have memories and wonder, oh my God, I would just love to see it again to see if it still holds up. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. Yeah. But James Bond Jr. and among others have that right to like give him another shot. Maybe there's potential that people are just so quick to dismiss because this isn't like Sean Connery. This isn't like Roger Moore.
Yeah.
So Timothy Dalton.
I need to check out some James Bond Jr. Another thing for Fed Monitor was talking about when we were discussing McDonald's ball pits and play areas.
Oh, yeah.
The McDonald's we had originally in my town had a merry-go-round, a big slide, and some of those ride-on things with springs. Halfway through the 90s, they scrap all that to have a ball pit on one side. So, yeah, that would have been fun to look at because I don't remember any McDonald's having merry-go-rounds or anything.
No, nothing like that. And in fact, the ones in our area had no playgrounds at all. It was ones that were out of town in other states that had like the big elaborate, like
like the indoor, like the two-story shit
stuff and things. Oh my God, you're like just your face is pressed up against the car window as you're going to Granddaddy and Linda's house or the beach. Like, can we stop there? No, damn it. It's just like, oh my God, everyone else has better playgrounds than we do. Everybody does.
Yeah, you come home and everything just sucks. Another from Oliver Belmont, going back to James Bond stuff. Nathan, will you and Tyler do a tier list of James Bond in the future? Perhaps like best Bond girl, gadget, ally, Bond villain, henchman, plus best Bond theme song. And my response to that was like, well, I'd have to get Tyler to watch all the other Bond movies. I don't know if he's up to task.
I mean, I could do the Daniel Craig stuff, no problem. I could do the Timothy Dalton ones, no problem.
Yeah, and I think that's how we were going to do it and go through them, that's how we'd have to do it. We'd need to just do it by bonds. Maybe lump Timothy Dalton in with Craig or something.
Well, because they tend to be like, well, he's the more hard. Well, Timothy Dalton's the first hard edge Bond.
Yeah. It's like we'd have to group them all together, or just like do a Connery one, do a Roger Moore one. But I'd have to get Tyler to watch the other Bond movies. I don't know if he's watching some of the other ones.
When Nathan's telling me certain things and I listen to other people's reviews on Bond movies too, I'm like, there's like a consensus about certain ones. I'm like, I don't know if I could do it. I truly have no desire to watch the Pierce Brosnan Bond films. Like I would much rather rather give the Roger Moore ones a shot before I did the Pierce Brosnan ones.
I think you should. I think if anything, out of all of them, just based off of your taste, if we were to do tier lists, obviously, if any at all, let's do a Craig Dalton one.
I would love to fucking do that.
We'll make that one. We'll set that one. But I think we should do a Sean Connery one.
Okay.
But you're gonna have to watch a couple shit movies.
So man, I have to watch Dr. No,
Diamonds Are Forever. Yeah. Which James is gonna be like, how dare you? Diamonds Are Forever is my favorite Bond movie. I'm like, you're fucking on crack, man, if that's your favorite movie. But yeah, let's definitely do a Craig Dalton one. And then kind of go from there. Like if you end up watching the Connery ones, then we can do a tier list on that. I think a couple of the Roger Moores you should check out just to see what you think. Because you might like the vibes more than anything else out of them. But
well, I definitely know like some of the more Bond girls are sensational.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which Jane I'm like just
Jane Seymour, man.
Because I've watched clips, I've watched little segments about this movie. Like, oh my gosh, she's so fucking hot. I just see Roger Moore as just like I can't visualize him being a man of action on any level whatsoever.
The
Not
earlier
to discredit him as an actor. I have no problem with him as an actor. I'm just like looking at him like
when he first takes on the role of Bond. Yes, as it goes on and he gets older, it's like you can definitely see, it doesn't work as much. Like
even though like I just don't see him like even though it's not to say if someone said well you needed to like watch Roger Moore like back in the day it was like what I'm not looking at from that. I'm looking at from a strictly I look at Connery, I see him as a man of action. I don't look at Roger Moore and see this guy. Even as a kid, I'm like this guy just looks like a daisy to me.
Yeah,
he just doesn't look like someone that would be a take charge kind of guy that's banging beaver left and right. And there is one where oh god, I can't remember which movie it is, but there's an Olympic hopeful, and she's like pretty young, obviously, and she's like in love with Bond in the bit. I'm just like, he's so fucking old right here. It's kind of like I was like, no, it's kind of weird, but yeah, we'll see how that goes, but we'll lock in for sure a Dalton Craig tier list. Absolutely, definitely love to do that.
Yeah, it's like the gritty Bond.
Yeah,
the hard edge Bond.
So fucking cool, man. Which I'm thinking like, I don't get it. Bond kills people in every run. Every Bond kills guys.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it about Daniel Craig and Timothy Dalton's like? Oh, this is more edgy. Like, well, he's still killing people. He's still
Well, it's because I think it's because Craig's Bond doesn't have that like. I'm not gonna say suaveness of like a Connery and a Moore, but they have.
I see Craig as being very suave. Though when I watch,
but he does
like this guy's cool as shit.
He doesn't have that lighthearted personality to him. He seems like very troubled and like.
But when
you know what I mean.
I see that, but I also feel like there's moments where he's vulnerable, but he doesn't want to show it because he's trying to be ice about it.
That's what I'm saying. But that proves the point exactly.
Well, just and you're going back and when after Demetrius's wife has been killed, the really hot Hispanic girl in Casino Royale, and and Bond are approaching her dead body on the beach,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at him, the camera closes in on him, like, okay, that's telling you he's not selling it, but he's fucking brokenhearted that this woman he just fooled around with here, like, yes, he is suffering on the inside, but he's not gonna sell it in front of her.
The word I was looking for is playful. He doesn't have any playfulness to him like Connery does and Roger
I feel
Moore
like he's
does.
got moments like with him and Vesper on the train, he's playful, and
No,
I think he's very playful with Demetrius's wife. I'm like, he's having fun with some of this stuff. I feel like that's how I view it, though.
Yeah, when you compare him to like Connery and Moore, they're definitely more lighter in that and playful in that regard, and you don't get that with Craig. But Fedmon says here, Galaxy Rangers and Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs were two other space cowboy cartoons in this era. I think I have like Galaxy Rangers a playlist of that saved on YouTube.
I started to watch the first episode a couple of years back and then got sidetracked and just never went back to like, okay, I need to sit down with absolute focus and just watch the first episode and see how the series is set up. So, yeah, I mean, God knows the theme song is amazing, but I'm also the same way. Jason the Wheel Wars, love the theme song. Never watched a single episode of the series. Though.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cartoons you and I need to start just kind of sitting down and giving a chance, much like I did with GoBots, which I'll talk about here very soon. But got a text from my dad while he was watching when we were talking about the Florida trip and how I finally used the bathroom at Toys R Us, and I don't recall getting anything. My mom remembers this differently. Went to say, Mom said you got the large G.I. Joes in a ball catching game where you caught the ball on a little round disc that you put on your hand. That was like the Velcro deal.
Velcro.
But apparently I got some of those Hall of Fame.
G.I. Joe Hall of Fame.
Figures. And I was like, I thought that was the Christmas thing. But
that's the only time we got them was for Christmas.
So I guess I got a couple of them at that Toys R Us down in Georgia on the way to Florida.
You did pretty good. Took a shit Toys R Us and got a Velcro ball game and maybe a Snake Eyes and Destro, G.I. Joe Hall of Fame.
I don't remember. Don't remember who I may have picked up.
Don't remember because they made it sound like, hey, if you buy these figures, you can see what they really look like.
Oh, yeah.
And Snake Eyes' face is covered and Cobra Commander's face is covered. You're like, motherfucker.
It was very disappointing. Moving on now to the comments that we received on the video. And this one just broke my heart. It comes from Tyrell White. For the toy line, I had Bravestar Tex-X 3030 Thunderstick and the role-play neutral laser, but unfortunately, I don't have them anymore. My grandma threw them out during a move.
God, our parents are just...
My mom was an idiot and put my toys in trash bags, and I even lost the Karate Kid competition center in that same move. Yeah, God. That sucks, man. I absolutely hate that for you.
I think I would be spending every day like reminding my parents if they had done something like that to that magnitude. Unfortunately, certain things where I was like, oh, we're not getting rid of this. I don't care if I don't play with them. We're not getting rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And, Snake Mountain and Castle Grayskull were two of those things.
Mm.
But man, the Karate Kid tournament competition center, having that and it's thrown away.
Yeah, just tossed like
I've been like Ralph Wiggum when Lisa Simpson tells him I don't like you, and he clutches his heart, and Bart watches it in slow motion just.
Watch this, Lise. You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now. Oh.
There's an obscure Simpsons reference for people right there. That just breaks the fucking heart to know all. And you had to fucking role play neutral laser too, man. I'll say a prayer for you, bud.
I responded with saying, I'm glad that my parents were pack rats and didn't really get rid of much, especially my shit, which they're probably regretting at this point because I have so much stuff that they have stored away in various spots, like in the attic of their house, the house next door that they purchased after the lady had passed away, strictly because they didn't want any riffraff moving in next door. So they bought that house. I got shit in that house that's in totes. And thankful for it because they saved so many Ninja Turtle boxes. I have the Batman 89 Batcave with its
baffles
box. They kept all those boxes, dude. Playset boxes were a thing that my dad was adamant about keeping. Because the whole thing was like, oh, once he's done playing with it and he's done with it, we can just
put it back in the box and
put it back in the box, and then we can just store it away. And that was like the smartest
how does he have
thing.
the presence of mind to think like, you know what, this would be a great idea. It'd be a great time capsule thing for him when he's older.
I don't know. That's something that I'll pick their brains about and see why exactly they wanted to. They decided to keep that stuff.
The first question: how are you guys so cool and still are?
Yeah, Tyler all the time is like, can you adopt me?
They said we would, but we can barely afford him.
Yeah. Drawing by hand left comment saying the price is a great Brave Star episode and Jingles episode and a lot of other episodes.
Yeah, that's the Fallen Idol episode.
I'm not a fan of the good guys, only Brave Star and Shaman. Tex-Hex and the villains are just too great. Great intro and storytelling. So thanks for watching that. It's kind of interesting to hear someone say that. It's like, yeah, I don't care for the other heroes in the show.
Well, I mean, I like JB, but Handlebar's kind of a lame ally, especially to put him in the toy line. Like, you kind of feel like Brave Star would have some other, like, you know, police law-abiding allies, you know, because they're not going to put JB in the toy line because they know girl toys don't sell that well in most boy lines. So it would have been smart to have had, you know, I think Borobot was another one of the like kind of more obscure characters that's part of the toy line, but it's a very clunky looking figure. You needed someone, you know, another human ally or maybe a cyborg ally that's a friend of like 3030 and Brave Star.
Yeah.
Because the villains had it more filled out, you know, with Thunderstick and Scuzz, Tex-Hex and Sandstorm. Of course, we didn't get Vipra or any of the dingoes either. You know, that would have been cool to have some of the dingoes in there, or that hog character. I forgot what his name was. He's kind of dressed like in a Civil War outfit. I forgot what his name was. But, you know, had the series continued, you know, or Too Bad, which was a two-headed like bird, like almost like it's Too Bad, but with bird heads essentially, and is a robot or half robot and half you know bird. But that would have been kind of interesting villain to make for the series as well too. But I mean, villains tend to be more interesting.
I mean, in pretty much all aspects.
You can get crazier with the villains. You can make them more out there. With the humans, you can I feel like you can push the. It depends though, because. You know, they do that with He-Man. People are like, I don't like Snouts, but I don't like Rear Blast. Well, I don't like you, asshole.
I just think about wrestling a lot, too. It's like the heels were always just cool.
They are. Where sometimes, like, man, I tell you, a bad baby face is like, oof. You know, I think like Duke the Dumpster Drozy. Like,
it's like a bad heel, it still works. But a bad baby face.
You can boo him. Doesn't matter if he's shitty or not. You're still going to boo him.
Yeah. Casey Duncan just simply said fun. And I'm like, well, I hope fun in the aspect that you enjoyed us just talking about it, not fun of like that episode was really fun because it was pretty dark and not a lot of fun.
Hopefully, he just enjoyed what we brought. You know, talking about the episode and everything else. And Casey like always seems to enjoy what we do. So he's a man of few words, and if he says we're fun, then you know what? Hey, that's an A+ for us, I think.
Johnny Cock would have probably been around 2009 to 2011 when my friend insisted on showing me this episode when I was visiting his place. It was really well done, and when they actually let the kid OD, Matt looked up at me and just said, wasn't that so fucked up? And then it was somber for the next 10 minutes. And when I read that, it reminded me of when we went on that trip and that raccoon got ran over. and we just sat in the car quietly for probably like the next 15 minutes and no one said anything. That's what it made me think of.
Oh God, I forgot all about that too.
Because we thought the raccoon was gonna make it because it was scurrying along, and then this tractor trailer hit it, and it just fucking
chunks went up in the air.
It turned into confetti almost. The amount of pieces that it went into.
For a moment because it was like, what the fuck? And then we all just like, oh my God, that poor raccoon.
Yeah, we just saw. I mean, at least it was swift and quick.
It was, thank God, as quickly as we saw that happen, that raccoon.
It was over.
It was over. You know,
yeah,
no suffering. Not like it got bumped and it has to limp off to the woods and die.
yeah.
No, it was
It
over.
got obliterated, but
It was just seeing an animal's parts fly up into the air on the interstate. It's just something that you don't forget that.
Yeah, but reading that's what made me. I was like,
Johnny is like, oh my god, and just sit there in silence.
Yep, that's exactly how it was.
And then someone does a shitty Jack Nicholson impression. You're like, oh god.
Gary Buchanan, NPC Rocks, always loved Brave Star.
Absolutely, man. I'm so glad you're still are just praising us with like, hey, you just love what we do, our effort, man. Appreciate it, Gary.
Yeah. And it goes to say too, what I really enjoyed the most about covering this episode is, sure, view wise a little bit lower than what we would get out of something that we cover with Master Universe, but I love getting these comments where people are just saying like, I love Brave Star. It's like, it's nice to see other people branch out in that regard too, that they just enjoy more than just a handful of things. And I like, I've never been that way. Like I've always trying to dabble in a little bit of something.
Well, yeah, it just feels like you're missing out on so much if you just want to have a finite focus.
Mm-hmm.
If you love a particular, whether it's, action movies or anime or video games, like why would you just stick to just one particular section of that commodity? Like, I only play video games from 81 to 83, and that's all I care about. Like, you're ignoring all these other great games that came later in the 80s and the early 90s. Like, if you just want to ignore all the current stuff, okay, I get it, but limiting yourself to, I only like the first wave of He-Man toys, and that's it. It all is all fucking lame and stupid after that. Or I only like G.I. Joe in the first wave because it's really military based. Like, you're ignoring the Dreadnoks, Storm Shadow, and Beachhead.
No, it's
kick-ass characters because you're so fucking stuck in your own ways. Like, it's just got to be this and that's all.
Well, hey, now some people could argue and turn that back on you, Tyler, and just be like, well, you also say you don't like this and this if you just open up to it. So be careful what you say, man.
What, I'm supposed to like the shitty writing in Netflix and that the upcoming movie is going to be a fucking masterpiece because, it's new? No. It's like, if I knew that they were going to have the best interest at heart for the live-action He-Man movie, the current one, then, I wouldn't feel so hesitant about it or say, no, it's going to be fucking dog shit.
Yeah. Well, I kind of meant in some of the other things you're bringing up video games. I'm like, I think there could be some stuff that is out on modern consoles.
Because I look at modern games, I don't, outside of like, playing Tekken or Mortal Kombat, I'm not interested in playing anything else. I look at what people play. It's like they're watching more videos play than actually playing the fucking game.
No, there are those games out there, but there are a lot of indie developed games that take inspiration from all the other shit that we loved in the past. Like there's plenty of stuff that's, here's some modern beat 'em ups. Like they came out with that new Marvel one that's got all those characters.
And that's the thing. It's like, I'm not aware of that because I'm so.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
now to piggyback off that, if I know more side-scroll beat-em-ups are available on things, I believe me, I'm there. I don't care what if it's a side-scroll beat-em-up of DC characters, Marvel, or other properties. Like I will give it a shot because I love side-scroll beat-em-ups.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. Like I know that you're like, but if you got a PS5 now, you could get like that Marvel side-scrolling game. You get the He-Man game. They have the Battlefront games on there, so you could get that again. So there's a lot of stuff, and because they like to do the thing of let's put this out, an anniversary thing. This came out 20 years ago. People love it. Let's put out this master collection of these games. So there's a lot of good shit that I think.
I guess I just think about the time wise too. Like I don't.
That's true.
I don't think about. I wish I could play this game right now.
Yeah,
I just don't.
I'm the same
feel
boat.
That way.
I'm in the same boat.
Going to the beach and getting it fixed there, or if I happen to be at your house, I'm perfectly fine with like, no, I'm good. I would just much rather just watch movies and cartoons, and
that's fair.
And that's just kind of how I evolved. It wasn't like I'm doing this because I'm stuck in my own ways, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just lost interest, and I look at what they do with Mortal Kombat now with all these downloadable characters and shit like that, it just seems like, come on, man. Freddy Krueger and Mortal Kombat, it's just so fucking dumb. Leatherface, it's cool if they did that with Van Damme, it looking like Frank Dukes and Blood. That's cool, but I'm like, I just feel like you're just kind of diluting what made Mortal Kombat so special in the first place.
I would agree with that to an extent, but I also understand why they include them, just because fatalities and everything that makes for like, cool
I mean,
visuals.
putting Rambo in a Mortal Kombat game, like, dude, I love Rambo so fucking much, but that just doesn't.
I
like
stopped.
Ninja Turtles and He-Man together. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Well, they put Ninja Turtles in the Injustice video games.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I stopped at Mortal Kombat 9 pretty much. Like, I bought Mortal Kombat 10 and started playing through the story mode, and I was like, it's not really doing much.
9, I enjoyed it because it was like trying to combine 1, 2, and 3 into one big story. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like that. I hate how they portray Johnny Cage as just this kind of, I'm Johnny Cage, and I'm witty, and I say funny shit. Like, no, it's just. Do you guys like this character at all? Because you're doing everything you can to make him a shitty character.
Now, speaking of which, I saw the
new trailer for Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, still doesn't look good.
No, of course not. It's gonna suck donkey balls.
This last one here comes from Mike Lomax. This for me was the most hard-hitting Brave Star or any episode from any cartoon series of the 80s. It also helps that I'm still a massive fan of the series. My choice to play Brave Star would be Rodney A. Grant, who starred in Dances with Wolves. Would be the perfect build and age to play the character of Brave Star. Yeah, you do that. I'll put the image on the screen of him right here so everyone else. Yeah, Rodney A. Grant.
Okay.
Dances with Wolves. For the film, I would have it where Brave Star is forced to choose between the two most important people who influenced him and made him the man he is. Of course, one will be Shaman and the other Jingles Morgan, where Tex and his gang, of course, are present, but the main villain will be Jingles, and Brave Star are bringing him to justice. So, yeah, I looked up Rodney A. Grant. I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's pretty solid. Yeah. That's really solid, actually.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He's got the look.
Yeah.
At least he did at one point. So
yeah, dude, a live action Brave Star in the early 90s would have kicked ass. I mean, even after its run, if they all of a sudden, because the popularity of Dances with Wolves and Last of the Mohicans, if they would have revisited that, it's like, hey, let's do something with this.
Oh, dude, you know who could have played Shaman?
Huh?
You know who could have played Shaman?
Who?
Will Sampson.
Now you're gonna stare at me like, what the fuck, dude?
Oh, I know you don't know who he is, but you will when you see his face.
Oh yeah. Oh man, Cuckoo's Nest, man.
Yeah, dude, he would have been the perfect Shaman.
Yeah, that would have been.
Oh my god.
Yeah, fuck, that would have been great.
Think of Cuckoo's Nest and I Love Josie Wales and Orca Killer Whale, and he was also in The White Buffalo with Charles Bronson.
But he did pass away in 87.
Yeah, the same year that Brave Star came out.
So that would have.
But just
fantasy cast, if he had not passed in 87, that would have been.
Yeah, he'd have been ideal.
Yeah, man. I need to watch Cuckoo's Nest again. I haven't watched that.
I watched it a couple months ago, and oh my god, what a beautiful movie, man! I think
in terms of like the drama genre, Cuckoo's Nest is easily top 5.
I'd say top 3.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah,
I just think it's a beautiful with the cast is so unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Like before they were stars, outside of Jack Nicholson, Danny DeVito, Christopher Lloyd, Brad Dourif. You were in Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, I went and had some sex, and everyone laughed.
With one of Jack's prostitute buddies, and and then Nurse Ratched says, "I'm going to tell your mother." No.
And Nurse Ratched, one of the best villains all time.
Louise Fletcher plays her so flawlessly in that movie, man. And
yeah, it's great. God, yeah,
such a fucking good movie, man.
I have it on Blu-ray. It's down the basement.
So many great character actors in that movie as well, too. People we would see in various other movies, playing small roles in that inner circle, and just
Not streaming anywhere currently. So I'm putting that media shelf together this week. I'll have that set up. Cuckoo's Nest will be setting up there because I got, when it came out on Blu-ray, I got that gift set. It's got like the lobby cards and all that shit with it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, but it's kind of the bummer with that stuff because all of it's just sitting in the box. Like I bought that Dirty Harry box set that has like a map in it. I think it has like little mini posters and stuff, which that's another thing. Speaking of tier list, doing James Bond, you and I need to do a Dirty Harry tier list.
Yeah, because I've watched 1, 2, 3, and 4 within recent years, and the Deadpool I've only watched once. I remember it being good, so it was like, okay, all 5 Dirty Harry movies are all solid movies. Like there's not a bad one in the bunch, but boy, that first one's so fucking masterpiece.
So Dirty Harry tier list is on there. So that's all the feedback that we got. I'm going to talk a little bit about GoBots, man. If you see behind me, I'll brighten my lights here. Yeah, the Saga Gobotron poster back there, 27 by 40. If you see me shift a little bit this way, we got some GoBots laying on the floor because I got to move some stuff around and make room for them. But once again, what a lovely show. To me personally, there's no bad episodes that I've watched thus far. I'm on episode 58 of 65. After that, I'll watch the Rock Lords film.
Yeah.
As I said before, if it gets really ridiculous, it's still great. If we're just having our generic plot, it's still great. It's interesting to see though, and you and I were talking about this before we started recording. The Saga Gobotron that I got right here. That's episodes 41 through 45, I believe, and more or less are supposed to take place directly after those first 5 episodes. So it was cool to kind of just go back as we're kind of, I wouldn't say progressing forward, but having all these other stories and then having this that kind of puts it back to the beginnings here. And I was talking before, well, I may not have mentioned it at the ending because there was a lot of stuff I talked about GoBots that turns out we weren't recording at all when we had the internet glitch. I was talking about how there's a big chunk of episodes where it's just those core 6, your three Guardians, your 3 Renegades. And you see some of the other bots on other sides occasionally, but after the saga here, after like episode 45, these past 13, 14 episodes, I'm starting to see more of these other characters. And they're, I'd have to look it up on my phone because I can't, or what I text you is the third column episode is one where there's a character named Zero that shows up. It was just like, I'm tired of losing. Looks at Psykill, I'm tired of losing. Someone else needs to lead this team. Both of them fight. No one wins, but some of the other Renegades go with Zero. I was like, I love this. And even Scooter makes a point to say when they see the other Renegades fighting, it's all great. Another faction is a third column. It's like, it's so good. But Zero's really great. I love how the episode ends. You haven't watched the episode yet, of course, but
I got to watch that one.
Highly recommend it to you because I'm curious to see if Zero is going to show up again. It's going to be a bummer if I get to the end of the series and there's no episode.
No mention of him, no appearance or anything like that.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that Zero is not a total one-off, but I'm all in, man. I got this poster here that's going on the wall soon. I got it framed today. I'm gonna get. I think I'm gonna go for the entire line. I think I'm just gonna go for it. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I'm gonna take my time with it.
I love it though. I love that ambition.
But to give everyone an update, I'll just list all the bots that I have so far. I have Tux, Stretch in the cartoon, but they call him Tux in the toy line. Blockhead. We got Vamp, Scorp, Pathfinder, and Coptor. And then my dad actually went to a little toy show, a local toy show. It's probably had most like Funko Pops and stuff and like Hot Wheels and everything. But he found me Fangs from the combiners to make Monstrous. So I was like, all right, well, we're one step there with that, I suppose. And I've been looking on eBay and just having to be very vigilant about the searches and looking at all the pictures because a lot of auctions just have them in the alt vehicle form, and I'm like, nope, I got to see the alt form. I got to see them in the robot, like their
GoBot form,
GoBot form, and see if anything's missing, anything's broken. I may have mentioned this in our brief stint on the previous episode, but there was a seller that I bought a couple of GoBots from. Really fucking cool.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart of a guy.
We messaged you. We talked about GoBots for a couple of hours. He told me things to look out for. Told me stuff like, most of the time you won't find these with stickers. Here are the rare ones. These are harder to find. And then it's just looking up other stuff on my own accord. It's like, oh, Wendy's had 5 or 6 of them that went out with their kids' meals. You know, looking those up, and even you were looking up this, because you were like, "Oh, they come in a little baggie." I'm like, "No, they came on a little card," and I'm like, "That's fucking cool."
That's prime packaging for Happy Meal toys, dude. Like no one else ever did that.
Yeah, there's golden books. There's a couple of magazines. There's like 5 magazines. I'm like, I want to get all that stuff. I want to get all of it because I just absolutely adore the show. I've never been this much of wanting to just really. This is gonna sound fucking weird because we've talked over the years how Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe was my stuff as a kid. I feel like GoBots to me is going to be what Master Universe is to you. Is that's
fucking,
a
bold statement, man, and an exciting one to share, man.
And once again, I'm going to reiterate. Toys, cartoon, GoBots, better than Transformers. Let's talk about it in the comments. Tell me I'm crazy. I don't care. I fucking love it. You and I were talking about it. There's just something about the Hanna-Barbera animation. There's something comforting about it. You mentioned it's like, yeah, you could put on any of those Hanna-Barbera shows. And it's like, put it on at night and you're cozy, you're comfy. It makes you feel like you're a kid again.
Yeah. It's just, it doesn't matter if it's, the kind of classic animal cartoons of Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, or my favorite Snagglepuss, or some of the more action stuff like GoBots, Goltar, and just like, oh yeah, I'm in my comfort zone. Or Thundor the Barbarian.
Yeah,
another ass kicker. Like, no, I'm good. Just binge watch, for an hour or so, and just be perfectly at ease with the comfort of Hanna-Barbera.
But GoBots, man, I love it. I adore it. Actually, I'll show some of this stuff off too, because this was prior to me. I was fighting myself. I'm like, I'm not going to jump into the vintage line.
We're not doing this. I'm not doing this.
Like a fucking idiot. But so it turns out Crasher has made her way into the Transformers line. I'm going to take the guns out. This was just simply grabbing it there, but I'm going to try to find a lightning piece to put under her foot. But I think for a reimagined figure, this is fantastic.
I think so too. Looks beautiful. I mean, she looks amazing.
Yeah, and not only that. So this is the KFC toys. They put out other things, but this reimagined Psykill, dude, and I love this. Like I'm not entirely crazy about the spikes on the wheels, but
I guess it's adding a little extra menace to him, I suppose.
But the fingers all individually articulate. It's and this is, listen to that. This and it the click is so satisfying.
Look at that quality craftsmanship, dude.
I mean, you gotta pay a little over $100 for it, but I love it, man.
They need a leader one to go.
I mean, if they decided we're gonna put out reimagined of way more than just Psykill and Leader One, sign me up. Give me a scooter, give me a turbo, give me a crasher, give me a
Coptor in that form, dude.
Yeah, and we were talking about this before. One of my favorite things is Coptor. Okay, sorry.
It's got that kind of monosyllabic, kind of caveman.
And everybody sounds fantastic, and the human characters aren't treated like fucking idiots. And
you're not irritated by the human characters,
and they don't overstep and seemingly take over from the GoBots at all. Like they're there,
not like unlike a Michael Bay movie.
They complement each other very well. So when they're there, I appreciate.
Yeah, you're not like like they're well written, intelligent characters.
Yeah. So all the love to Matt, Nick, and AJ, and then like even Braxis and all of those wild ass characters.
The random human villains that team up with the renegades.
Yeah. So I'm at the home stretch of finishing out watching the entire series. I've done that in like a few weeks.
Yeah.
Which is something I have never done before with a cartoon. Like I'll watch chunks of episodes. I've done it before with doing research for things that we were talking about before on Fans of Power. It's like, oh, I need to sit and watch.
Yeah, you make the effort to do that.
Yeah,
10 people make the effort to do that and not show up with a fucking excuse.
Yeah, 10 to 12 episodes. So it's like, all right, so I get a better grasp of this. I actually did almost rewatch Teela's Quest just to. But I didn't get around to it, but I wanted to sit and watch it with so we could kind of. I wouldn't say compare or anything, because
you really could do a comparison of the two because they're pretty much telling the same story, but in two different directions. Skeletor does get involved with fucking around, a little bit, but not more in Teela's Secret than Teela's Quest.
Yeah. So in hindsight, maybe I should have, so we could have added another layer to the conversation. But GoBots, for me to have sat and watched, to be almost 58. I've watched 57 episodes. I'm on episode 58. To watch that in like 3 weeks' time, kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to get that message. Yeah, all right. I started buying the Rock Lords. I got Magmar and I bought.
I fully intend on buying those, because even when you and I watched the opening credits, because I know fuck all about the Rock Lords, but watching the opening credits there with you and showing off and just looking at them there, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get the
sound they make when they transform, like the clicking rock noise as they're emerging into their humanoid form, and like,
yeah,
oh yes, so cool.
So drop a comment down below. Let me know if I'm one of the crazies, or if you want to join up and be part of the GoBot.
Be one of the renegades. Join up and
yeah. There we go. Yeah. We need some more GoBot love out there, and I want, if I can do anything in my part to kind of help push that forward for anybody. It's on Tubi right now. If you've never watched GoBots before, it's on Tubi. Apparently here in March, tomorrow, there's going to be a shitload of cartoons that are going to be on Tubi. I found like a graphic that had all kinds of stuff. Like Batman Brave and the Bold's going to end up being on
Tubi.
Really? Yeah, so they're putting a lot of Warner Brothers stuff on Tubi. So there's probably a lot of shit that people have not seen in years, us included. So I'll try to find that graphic. If I find it, I'll edit it here on the screen so you can pause it, take a look at everything that they're adding to it. And yeah, watch some GoBots. But I hope everyone enjoyed Teela's Secret. I hope you enjoyed all the feedback that we got and responded to. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like this episode. Comment down below. Subscribe. That'll help out a lot. And until later, let the power return.
Offense gets the glory, but defense wins the game.
I should know this.
Probably not. You told me you don't like this movie, so I don't know if it's because you didn't want to see it because of what it was, or you saw it and didn't like it.
Offense gets the glory, but defense wins. Is this basketball related?
It is, but it's not a basketball movie.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what I kind of meant. I'm like, is it a basketball movie? Because I was like, no. I've watched most of those. Man. Blue Chips. Give me. It doesn't have to be a main character, but who's in it that I would recognize for sure?
Well, there's a few in it. I'll say Mickey Rourke's in it.
Iron Man 2.
No.
No, I'm just
fuck no.
Oh. Yeah, I just pieced it together because you've been watching Van Damme stuff. So it's fucking
I haven't watched this. It's just a line I remember.
It's the Double Team.
Yeah, Double Team.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That movie sucks, dude.
Bullshit, man.
That movie.
I love Double Team.
Rodman's fucking terrible.
I thought he was great in it.
That movie. What's the because so many basketball puns in it.
Oh,
too.
I mean, yeah, it's absurd, like, but it's more about nostalgia.
What's done like in there like a
basketball parachute?
Yeah. Fuck, that movie sucks, dude.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I call hang time. Like, yeah, it's a lot of forced bad basketball puns throughout the movie when he's on screen. When he first shows up, like, there's no basketball puns other than the whole like offense gets the glory, defense wins the game. That's it. And then later on, it's like pawn after pawn after pawn after pawn. It's just but it's still it's a fun film. I like it. It's not. I wouldn't put it in Van Damme's top 5, but
I might. Maybe I'll revisit it. I just remember when I watched it because I'm pretty sure at the time when it came out. So that was
97, April of 97.
So we probably rented it, and at the time I was probably digging it because I'm like, yeah, Rodman, the Bulls. He's
so that was one of the biggest draws too. It was like Van Damme and Rodman in the same movie. Like, look at the movie poster. Which I own. I do own the movie poster.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Is it on Netflix?
I have no idea.
I think it's on Netflix. If it's streaming anywhere, maybe I'll give it a revisit, but I don't intend to.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. It'd be fun, but I have a gut feeling it'd be like 4 a.m. This movie fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But
we shall see.
Like it. It's got some great action sequences in it. Some good fight scenes, and I just thought as a kid, like, that's the year I got into basketball, and thinking the Bulls were so fucking awesome, especially Rodman, of course, and like he's in a movie with Van Damme. Like, oh my god, like we went opening day and saw it, I think 3 days straight, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. My dad liked it, my brother loved it because he was a Rodman fanatic.
Oh my
god! So we were just all about Double Team.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be like your GoBots, man. We shall see. If anyone else likes that movie, let us know. GoBots and Double Team.
Tell me why, and it better not just be because Battlecat Norco's not in it or some bullshit. It's like some dumbass I would have cast Rick Fox in the role as Jazz. Like, fuck you,
dude. Rick Fox sucks.
Yeah, I liked him in the movie Eddie.
I never liked Rick Fox. I never liked Robert Horry either. I appreciate Robert Horry's game, but Rick Fox sucks, dude.
Yeah, me too. I agree. Like, his face alone is like, he sucks.
Was Rick Fox like, he was a love interest on some sitcom, wasn't he?
I don't remember. I just remember he was married to Vanessa Williams for a while, and I was pissed off. I was like, I don't want Vanessa Williams to be with that idiot.
He was on Oz.
He was on Oz?
Yeah, he was a reoccurring role in 11 episodes. It's Jackson Vahu.
That's kind of odd.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Rick Fox is in fucking Blue Chips, too.
Rick Fox was in Blue Chips? I don't remember him being I know he was in the movie He Got Game.
Yeah, Blue Chips, the Texas Western team. So he was probably just in the background.
Okay. I was gonna say he doesn't have there's no like speaking role. There's nothing that says this is Rick Fox. So yeah, he must have been on one of the.
I could have swore he was a love interest on some show in the late '90s, early 2000s, but I guess not.
I don't remember. I think my first impression was seeing in the movie Eddie, because he was one of the guys on the Knicks team, along with Greg Ostertag.
Oh, God, I forgot all about Eddie, man. The Whoopi Goldberg movie, and Coolio did the song for the soundtrack.
It's All the Way Alive. I own the single of that and played the shit out of that song. Oh, my God.
Yeah. But
hey, and Skeletor plays the owner of the Knicks and wants to sell them.
Yeah. Frank Langella, man. Yeah. This was in a time period, too. I will say this. For as much shit I was giving you for liking Double Team, I miss that era of movies where they're just like, yeah, let's fucking do whatever and put it out there.
Yeah.
Let's see what sticks, what works, what doesn't. They were doing anything. Do you remember the movie The Sixth Man, where it's like
where Marlon Wayne's brother dies and comes back as a ghost on the basketball court?
Yeah.
And I remember watching that and thinking this movie's gonna be so awesome. Like, or Celtic Pride with Damon Wayans, where
I was just about to bring that up. Where it's the
Daniel Stern and Dan Aykroyd are Boston Fanatics, and
and it's the Celtics and Utah Jazz in the finals. So they kidnap their star player, played by Damon Wayans.
Yeah. Again, I think it was gonna be this awesome fucking movie, and it was just.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it.
I didn't walk away hating it. I guess I just, in my mind, I love Damon Wayans because of, Living Color, and Dan Aykroyd, Ghostbusters, Daniel Stern. I'm like, how can this fail?
Yeah.
And I watched it once and never saw it again after that. It was just, the hype of that, and along with seeing The Great White Hype, where Damon Wayans plays that out of shape boxer. And
I never watched that one.
Yeah, it was just, it's Damon Wayans, and I saw it once, and that was it. But Eddie, I watched a lot because that was, again, I just thought it was cool. Like, Whoopi's character had all these jerseys of Nick players, and it was all about Nick trivia. And I was like, I want to have an answer machine and have basketball trivia. I want to have a closet full of jerseys like she does.
It's just those movies that they would make where it's here's this female head coach taking on hanging with the guys. I think of fucking, what is it, Unnecessary Roughness.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I love sports movies. That would be another topic. I think we should do a tier list of sports films.
I feel like my list would be so finite though, with like Major League, Blue Chips.
You never watched Little Big League, Rookie of the Year?
I didn't watch it. I love Rookie of the Year as a kid. Little Big League, I was like, this movie looks fucking dumb.
No, I love Little Big League.
Yeah, Little Giants, of course.
Dude, Little Giants, man. I love sports movies from that time period.
Because they weren't afraid to get crazy with okay, we're gonna have a dog play basketball. Of course, I didn't want to see that look fucking stupid.
I mean, I've watched Air Bud. That's funny though.
I love basketball. I was like, I don't want to see Air Bud. It just looks like made for babies.
No, that movie's totally fine and serviceable and cute in its own little genre.
I love dogs. I just felt like.
I mean, I didn't watch that fucking baseball movie with Matt LeBlanc. Was it Ed?
Oh yeah, with the monkey.
With the monkey, I never watched that.
No, fuck that. I don't want to see that either.
Yeah.
It's I saw Dunstan checks in. That's enough of my monkey movies. I had or Born to Be Wild or The Amazing Panda Adventure. Like, not everything with animals was something I was like, I wanted. It was fucking dumb and lame.
Well, Benji.
Which one? There's like Benji. I think it's Benji the Hunted. There's a couple, but I
don't know.
I only watched parts of one of them as a kid. I think with animals, I preferred to be animated because I felt like with live action with animals, like even though Homeward Bound was an enjoyable movie, I would not care to watch it now because of all the lame ass kid jokes.
Yeah, but you get really sad at the end.
Oh, but the dogs live,
Yeah, but just the fact that they think that the dog didn't.
Oh yeah. They think Chance, like the big, I forget what it's like. They think, oh, my dog didn't make it home, and then he comes over the hill. Like, I made it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not a movie. I don't think people have nostalgia for. Oh, Homeward Bound. Oh, it's my favorite movie. It was like, was it really of all the great things that came out during that time? Like Homeward Bound is your favorite. But it was a fun movie for that time, but not something that ever have any interest in going back and revisiting.
There is a lot of that stuff that is very much, you got to have those goggles on when you visit it these days, because a good chunk of that shit does not hold up. But I have a soft spot in my heart for a lot of those sports movies. I mean, especially a lot of the really good ones, like A League of Their Own. I fucking love that movie.
Well, that was a big hit when it came out too. I remember like home video and everything. I just feel like that was such a big movie. And Sandlot was big in my family because we went to the theater to go see it. And we went to the drive-in to see it too. Like my mom genuinely liked that movie. Like that was always a big feeling too. If you walked away and your parents enjoyed the movie, they just took you to go see that you wanted to go see. Like it's like, that's right. Yeah, you liked it too. It was awesome. It was satisfying to know that your parents enjoyed the movie they took you to go see.
Dude, Sandlot. Yeah.
The first Mighty Ducks.
So the funny thing about Mighty Ducks, I love all three of them, but it's just fucking hilarious to me that it takes until getting to the third movie, and they portray this coach. It's not Bombay as being this hard ass. I'm like, he's actually teaching them how to play fucking hockey. We're actually playing hockey in this movie, as opposed to all the other ones. They're like, he's such a piece of shit. And it turns out, like, oh, his daughter's in a wheelchair. We got to feel bad for him. I'm like, no, he's doing. Bombay was a shitty coach. He's and this guy's sitting there. It's like, no, we got to fucking play hockey. And they're like, we got to do all this stupid shit. It's like, nah. So I love them all. I didn't mind that Disney Plus series that came out. Where Bombay's back and he reluctantly starts helping out coach a newer team. I was enjoying that. Like, he kind of shot himself in the foot around COVID times with vaccines and all that, and saying shit he did. But there's so much potential there. And I like I said, I miss that era of just movies entirely.
Well, and one, two, and you and I both are big fans of this film, and it'll never be touched again, is Bad News
Heavyweights.
Bears.
Oh, Bad News Bears. Yeah. I thought you were going to say heavyweights.
Sports movies where the kids are written, I mean, they're written in a way that's just like they barely touch that kind of level of writing in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the way kids are written, like with Goonies or Stand By Me.
Mm-hmm.
But with Bad News Bears, I mean, these kids are excessively foul-mouthed, racist, and just blunt about everything. And it's an authentic depiction of legitimate Little League baseball. Like, the parents taking the shit seriously, and the kids are rough and getting picked on. They've all got their hangups and insecurities and things like that. And unlike the shitty remake, which seemed like a great idea on paper. I was like, my God, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
But that might be in my top 3 favorite sport films of all is Bad News Bears. Swear to God, man, I'm
telling you,
adore that movie.
We should do a sports movie tier list. I know you said your stuff would be limited, but I can still just be like, here's this movie. Let me give my thoughts on it and put it in a column.
Yeah.
You just put it in the I haven't seen it.
I mean, we can talk the shit out of Blue Chips, man, because I love Blue Chips.
I haven't watched it in a long time, but I will. If we do a tier list on sports movies, I will definitely. That's easily rewatchable. Because it's like, oh, there's Shaq, there's Penny. Oh fuck, man.
Nick Nolte at the helm too, like, you know,
and that was
being all like, you know, Bobby Knight.
And that was my era of basketball. Was strictly like that mid '90s point was like the sweet spot for me, and jump like loving basketball as much as I did.
I guess as you were falling out of favor, that's when I was getting into it.
Yeah, very much so.
Hardcore.
When I kind of stopped watching. Well, I can't go that far into it because I got NBA 2K for the Dreamcast, and I was still keeping up with basketball in like 99, 2000, 2001, but definitely not where I was in the mid 90s. Mid 90s, I was obsessed. It was like GoBots obsessed. I got my starting lineups all over the walls with all the sports doing all that thing. But let's do a fucking sports tier list, sports movie tier list. So Bond, a couple of the Bonds, Dirty Harry Sports. That's what we got. Cooking up for everyone on Master Podcast.
Like some other, did we ever talk about? I feel like we talked about was doing like a Van Damme.
Yep, Van Damme was on the list
too, the villains, the girls, the movie overall, and which the Van Damme straight to videos I've only seen, I think, 1 maybe 2. And
we got to cap. Yeah, we would have to cap it and limit it. I would say
there's a couple of his theatrically released films. Like I never saw all of Maximum Risk. I never saw Nowhere to Run, where he plays a prisoner that escapes and befriends his farm family. And let's
keep it the core good. I think Double Team's probably where it really needs to be the cutoff.
Because I think you have Double Team, The Quest, Maximum Risk. You got Time Cop, and
Time Cop came out in like 94.
Yeah, and I still to this day have not been able to finish Time Cop because I get so bored watching it. Every time I'm like,
I haven't.
And yet it has such a following. Like, what am I missing here? I get bored and never can finish the damn thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen Time Cop since we rented it when it first came out on video. I think I have it on DVD probably in like a multi-pack.
I've got it on DVD, and
I haven't watched it.
It's in a 2-pack with Bloodsport on Blu-ray, and I'm like, I can't sit through this movie.
Double Team will be the
capper. So 97 would be the last year
of
the Van Damage.
Yeah, I think that would be the best place to stop it.
So no knockoff with Rob Schneider and
nope.
Universal Soldier: The Return.
No, with Bill Goldberg. No. Yeah. So we'll cap it there, and we'll cap this episode right here as well. So thanks for watching.
Thanks for your time.
What seems to be the problem?
Look, mister, I need a ride. My friends and I just had a run-in with these really disgusting people. You might have heard of them, the Fratellis. Well, we found their hideout. And could you please take me to the sheriff's station? I can describe all 3 of them.
Bimba dagli occhi vieni da Maria, a questo